Hi,
Hello.
Hi.
welcome. We have a full house here today.
Gang's all here.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And we're going to be playing a tabletop game, Darkest Dungeon, well, 2, I guess, it's a hack. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. We played session 0 already, like 3 weeks ago. And this is session 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, heck yeah. I'm probably going to be using music that I shouldn't be using and maybe get copyright stricken. So let's go. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and swap it out. Let's go to the other screen. Boom.
Boom.
Whoop. Alrighty.
Here we are.
There it is.
We're in our little boxes.
Yeah, you're all in your little boxes now. Back in your box. Time to go back in your box. It's box time. All right, so we're going to be playing a variation of the game called, essentially, it's Rules on the Fly. I know you guys probably didn't read through the book because it's like 207 pages long. So we're going to play Rules on the Fly, which literally means the game itself is a very basic rule set. It's just going to be roll d6s, get more successes than versus the ob or whatever, or your versus. And 4, 5, and 6s are successes, right? That's the base of it, right? That's as pretty as basic as you can get. When things come up where you'd be like, well, maybe I can use this to gain an advantage or whatever, I'm going to mention that to you because I'm going to say, why don't you check certain things and why don't you add certain narrations? So it is going to feel a bit strange at first because I know you guys probably haven't played a narrative RPG where your words that you use are going to be involved in certain aspects of tests, as it's called.
Right.
So I'm going to kind of guide you through it because it's just going to feel foreign, and that's okay. That's normal. Now for Kanagi, probably not so much because you haven't played you said you haven't played D&D before, right, Kanagi?
Played D&D before. Yeah, I have.
You have, okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to feel kind of odd for both of you because D&D players, generally they have kind of like a third-person perspective where they kind of sit behind the wall, and then they describe their actions, and then they just go, I want to do this, I want to do that. So they'll be like, I want to search, they'll grab their D20 and then roll a search, or I want to do this. So in this game, that's not how it's going to work. So it's going to end up being, you do your fiction, so basically you're going to go through your narration of your actions and stuff. I will tell you when something will come up in which there is a need for a test. So I will say, okay, that sounds like you're trying to do something. And I will say, if you say, yes, this is what I'm trying to do, or whatever, then I'm going to say, well, two things. So I'm going to say which skill is going to be required to use it. And at that point, if you don't want to use that skill, or you don't have it, or you don't want to use beginner's luck or whatever, which I'll go over, or tap your nature or whatever, then I'm going to say, okay, no problem, we can step back from that. So generally speaking, a lot of the times when you say you're doing something in a narrative game, you're doing it regardless what skill test it is. But because you guys are new, I'm going to give you the option to back out of something if it's something that you don't, like a skill that you don't want to roll, right? Also,
okay.
So that's one thing. The second thing is, once I give you an ob, so once I say, okay, cool, that's going to be an ob 3, ob 4, you can't back out then.
Okay.
All right, so once
Okay.
you commit saying that I'm going to use that skill, once I give you an ob, you're going to do it. Like, you're going to roll against it. You can't be like, oh, that's too high of an ob, I'm backing out. Can't do that.
Okay.
But I'll let you back out prior to. Something else. And just keep in mind, failures in this game doesn't mean you don't get your way. Sometimes you can fail upwards. Sometimes you can go into a death spiral. It really depends. It depends on what happens.
Okay.
No pressure.
No pressure. It's one or the other. You either get what you want, even if you
It's
fail,
all fun
or
in the
get
end.
into a death. But actually, to be honest, sometimes it goes hand in hand. Sometimes you get what you want, and a death spiral happens. So it's all fun. But what we'll do first is, we'll go through, I guess, both of you, and you guys give like an explanation about your character, a bit of. Does not obviously the backstory is going to be kind of
Vague.
cloudy, but that's a good thing. But yeah, go ahead, Kanagi.
Yeah.
You start with your character, and we'll go over that.
You should introduce
Okay.
yourself too.
Oh, Me?
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
Kanagi.
Oh, Kanagi. Yeah. Introduce yourself. and your
Everybody knows
streaming.
you, Vic.
Yeah, everybody knows me. Exactly. I'm the best. Kanagi, you go ahead and introduce yourself, your streaming, your channel, and then
Oh,
everything after that. So,
yeah.
yeah, do it all.
Um,
I'll just say here, shut
so,
up now.
hello everyone. I am Kanagi. I'm a cat rabbit, a cabbit for short, not a cabbage. And I stream variety games. Mostly games I'm learning. I've never played before. And I like puzzle games. I like indie games. I like a lot of different things. But I'm new to streaming and I've been learning and I'm very happy to see you all here and I hope that you all have fun. Um and my character. Let me go into it. So my character's name is Minerva and they are a plague doctor. Their home is in the Sprawl, which is like it's like the underbelly that I think kind of maybe like the seedy underbelly of a city.
No, the
Is
sprawl
that
is
right, Nick?
literally the sprawl is so in this time and day and age there was because it's kind of like the Renaissance era. There were these
Yeah.
metropolises that were massive cities. The sprawl is
Oh, the
literally a,
sprawl of
a
the cities.
massive city. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'm in the sprawl, but in the massive city, and my character kind of has. We're talking kind of vaguely because in this game you slowly reveal your backstory in a way through the mechanics of the game. So at the moment, kind of murky. I I've been entrenched in my research, and of course, something bad has happened in my past. Something that has caused some trauma related to my uh, intense thirst for knowledge. So this is a bit of a darker character, I guess, which the Darkest Dungeon is kind of appropriate, I guess. So I'm the Plague Doctor, and I guess the Plague Doctor is a kind of like concoction maker, potion maker, somebody who fiddles with a kind of like biological interest, and chemicals and things. And yeah, I think that's as far as I can explain about my character. So I'll let
What about your
Silver
looks?
introduce himself.
You want to
Oh,
explain
sorry,
your
what did you
looks?
say?
You want to explain your looks?
My looks. I'm proud to. I'm kind of like noble and cold and haggard. So I'm somebody who is born from like nobility, but oh yeah, we kind of said that my family kind of abandoned me, but we'll let that be a little bit more vague and unclear. And I'm haggard, so I'm tired all the time because I'm at my books, entrenching myself in research, and an unhealthy obsession with research. Do you want to introduce yourself, Silver?
Yes. I am Silver Havoc. I go by Silver or Havoc, or Silver Havoc, that's fine too. And you see on screen Creature, my ping tuber. Creature has lots of different forms, and this month he's super gay, because Pride Month.
Yeah.
Yay! Heck yeah!
Yay! I am playing Vaco, who is a Hellion. Vaco is older than a normal RPG character typically would be at 45, and she has lived a long life in the city guard. She's retired and now ready to go adventure. And she is grizzled, she has a piercing stare, and she has bright purple hair.
One of the most important things about this game is your atonement, your goal, and your instinct, and your dark secret. So I think you went over your dark secrets. I'm not sure. But those are kind of like so like I guess what we're gonna do is I guess we'll kind of go over Kanagi's here. So Kanagi's atonement. So an atonement in this game is something that you believe in that you can find redemption for. So this whole game is about finding redemption, finding like a reason to live, finding hope,
Mhm.
whatever it is that your character would deem that to be appropriate. Kanagi's is no one can hold back my research anymore. That's your research obsession that you were talking about, right?
Mhm. Right.
So that's something to keep in mind when we're playing is your atonement, because the way you get experience in this game is playing your atonement goals, belief, and atonement goals, instinct, and dark secret. So as long as you're playing towards those
Um,
things, you're getting experience. If you're not playing it towards that, you're not gaining experience. Yep.
Welcome in, Sir Turd of Bottom. I see you're a knight of the Order of Bottoms.
Hey, do you know this person, Kanagi? Haha, just joking. Um,
What do you know about the Order of
yeah,
Bottoms,
yeah,
Kanagi?
yeah. Tell me.
Silver, do you know that I was innocently lurking in Kingstream the other day? They make their entire raid message, Kanagi is a brat. And then they raid someone I've never met before.
With the message,
And-
Kanagi is a brat.
And
Stop.
they go into that stream, and then I'm like, hello. And then them and Demo make them say, they have like a redeem that says, they make the streamer say, I'm a bottom. My first introduction. The villains.
Stop.
Yeah, Silver's has a couple of things here. So atonement is, or your belief, I
Mhm.
guess, in a way, for I guess Vakoth, is it Vakroth?
Vako.
Vico? Okay, is that Vico?
Vako.
Okay, perfect.
Vako.
Violence is always the answer.
Mhm.
That's interesting. Hey. So I expect
Mhm.
there's going to be a lot of violence in your future.
Yeah.
Your instinct is always look over my shoulder. That'll be your free. So an instinct is. All right, I'll go over that in a second. And Darkest Secret is I should have stayed my hand. So we don't know what happened with that, but hopefully we'll figure that out. Campaign. This is Act 1. So the game is done in 5 acts. This is going to be currently Act 1. There is a title on it. It's like a beacon of hope. It doesn't really matter because it doesn't mean anything to you. But there are acts in this JRPG. This TTRPG, this tabletop role-playing game. So I know that's odd too to have acts, but essentially each act is essentially a new overarching rumor that you're uncovering.
I see.
Yeah, so once the act is completed, generally you'll have a flashback, and that'll usually end the act. Welcome to the kingdom, or what's left of it. The land is split by the darkness that consumes us all. Once this place was great and strong, but now it's just a fraction of what it once was. All the kings are dead. Hope is fading, and without change, humanity is lost forever. The haze of the world has been around as long as you can remember. The sun never seems to shine brightly enough to push back the ever encroaching darkness. Hope is but a fading spark now, spiraling into the abyss. You find yourselves in the last known safehold, a fortified hamlet around the ruins of a torn bannered Lord's Keep, of which the name escapes you. Garland, the local abbot of the valley, stands upon the broken rubble, reading a scroll and shouting, "Come, ye who seek gold, hope, or redemption! The Lord of Light calls for some brave heroes to push back against the looming blackness beyond these town walls." Asking for help, the crowd that gathered and prayed around the altar of hope has dispersed until only you two remain, or you three, I guess, remain. If you wish to listen to, if you wish to listen, I will tell you our plea. Not far from here lies a catacomb, and within it, a band of our finest from the church descended to clear it out. Whatever horrors are within, to seal it off once and for all. But with them, they carried a holy relic, one that could push back against the tides of despair. However, it's been a few days now. I fear the worst. I need somebody to go into those tombs, see if they're still alive, and if not, retrieve the relic, or all hope is lost. He stated this in a shaky voice. The details of the relic were vague. A torch made of materials from beyond this world, holding the hope of the world. The hope of the world. What does that even mean? The abbot directed you to a tall, cloaked figure standing behind him. People call him the Keeper of the Flame. A gaunt-shaped human whose facial features are hidden in a smoky-like haze. Simply walks towards the altar. Place some basic torches in an offering dish. The figure sprinkled some white powder into the vessel. The abbot saying a prayer. We are the flame. A flame that glows on top of the altar. The flame that glows on top of the altar's twisted statue features glows dimly, then slightly fades into a flicker. The abbot retrieves the torches from the keeper as he walks away back into the abbey. The Lord of Light has protected us from the beasts and demons from just outside our gates. I hope these simple blessings will protect you as well. So, I know I'm kind of forcing it in the scene in here. I know there's like, you haven't done anything yet. This is just kind of like an introduction. He does hand out some items in order to kind of get you started. So you'll get some free items here. And you can decide how you're going to distribute it. So, Kanagi, with you have a friend. You have Elena, the criminal.
Yes.
So I have a couple questions I need to know before Elena, before we can continue with this.
Okay.
Why did Elena become a criminal?
Okay. So, part of the backstory, I guess I didn't explain earlier, but I remembered now, is that so on being abandoned by my parents, I became a street urchin. So I was with a bunch of children who were doing whatever it took to survive. And if I hadn't found my mentor, who was a suspicious older man, Alan Dimon, the dungeoneer, who was using children as like throwaway tools to explore dungeons and get money and fatten himself with wealth. If I didn't go into my life of research and hyper-focused, I would have become a criminal as well. So Elena's taken the natural progression of our backstory, basically, from being a street urchin.
So is Elena? So right now, Elena's with you. Why is Elena with you right now?
Why is she with me? I guess there is something I want out of this by being a hero. My character probably is no hero in the sense of
none of them
righteousness.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've enlisted their help. If I can trust anyone, maybe I can trust them. Despite them being a criminal, at least I have somebody who is on my side, maybe. In this trek, this journey. Or maybe someone I can portray in a particular way.
Interesting. So what does she believe in? What does Elena believe in? Like what?
Elena?
Yeah.
Right. Well, she's seen what the status I've attained in the academic circles of the city, and she knows that it's possible to escape the life of crime. So she believes in money and believes in opportunities. She wants to take advantage of any opportunity and is very light with her fingers.
Oh, okay.
So money and the opportunity to make something of herself. The ambition.
So, so would you say that a belief or an atonement would be I've you can only survive if you look out for yourself kind of thing, or is it more so um, filling your pockets with gold is more important than like what kind of ideals would
Let
she
me
have?
think. Let's
Yeah.
see. I guess if I was thinking in a way, I might go, only a fool lets opportunities pass um, regardless of risk, or something like that.
Okay.
So that kind of like highlights the ambition and maybe reckless ambition.
So only a fool lets a good opportunity pass by,
Hmm.
or makes an advantageous maybe advantageous or advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, just trying to see. Only a fool lets advantageous opportunities pass by, or
Or you could just say like, only a fool lets opportunities slip through their fingers.
there we go. This
Yeah.
opportunity slip through the fingers. Yeah, that's better.
Mm-hmm,
Slip
mm-hmm.
through their fingers. You're good at these. You're good at these. And so as with her life of being a criminal, what kind of habits has she picked up? Like, it's something that she does. You said something about like she's always trying to pick coins, so is she like constantly looking for things to take or things to like?
Yeah, I guess she's light on her fingers, so she's looking. I guess she's always evaluating loot and opportunities in that way. I guess is this going to be like the instinct thing, or is it the?
How about never let a box remain unchecked?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So she would be the first to open up chests or anything she finds along the way.
yeah.
All right, perfect. Perfect. So an NPC, the way the NPCs work in this game, because normally, like I said, we usually got 3 or 4 players, so if an NPC is not usually
Mm-hmm.
used. But the way the NPCs work in this one is NPCs, they can give helping dice based on their skills. So they have a couple skills here. This one has a Criminal 5, Scout 4, Dungeoneer 3, and Manipulator 3. Also has a Wise, so she can give helping dice. She can give some of her wises. She can use her wise to give you some rerolls and stuff. But as you can
Mm-hmm.
tell, she's got 2 things that she's missing. She's not a hero. She's just a criminal.
Yeah.
She has a might of 2. She's not as strong as you guys, right? She's not a hero.
Okay.
So she doesn't get fate. She doesn't get persona, and she doesn't get all
Mm-hmm.
the hero stuff. She doesn't get. So she's just an NPC. If you wish to use an party NPC in your narration, you can just go ahead and do so. So
Okay.
we're all
Mm-hmm.
GMing this NPC, essentially.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Little puppet masters.
Yeah, so if you're being like, well, Ilana comes over and then we kind of do something like that, then you can go ahead and do so. We're all kind of, yeah, these NPCs are ones that we all kind of self GM. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. So we've got the introduction. So now it's going to be time to write a goal.
Vago is absolutely raring to go bonk some whatever happens to be in those catacombs.
Yeah, awesome. This game is not going to be all about diving into dungeons, okay? So like, but this is kind of like
Mm-hmm.
a way to kind of get the game started, I guess, fast. I use that with quotation marks because I've been taking forever to get it set up.
Okay.
But yeah, so now we're gonna choose goals. So everybody needs to write a goal. So a goal is a sentence that you're going to write that you can achieve in 1 to 2 sessions. Something that you think you can
Okay.
do in the next, couple sessions that pertains to anything that you think you want to do. Like an example is, retrieve the relic or whatever, or it could be something along the lines of find out, like investigate the catacombs, find out what it was about,
Mm.
or make sure, make sure. How do you say your name, Kanagi? Your character's name?
Oh, Minerva.
Yeah, make sure Vo, Vok, Vo, Va, Vic,
Vaco.
Vico. Yeah,
Vaco.
like Vico might be like, make sure Minerva doesn't get killed or something like that, right? Or doesn't get harmed during this mission or whatever, right? So you can make whatever goals you want, as long as it's not like I need to light a torch or I need to. I need to eat food or whatever. Now, if you had no food, which you're gonna be getting starting food and stuff. If you never had
I need to breathe.
yeah, I need to breathe. Or you can't choose those goals, right? It has to be goals that give your character what's called a moment of crisis, right?
Oh.
So if it doesn't give you a moment of crisis or put you into crisis, then it's probably not worth the goal.
I'm gonna go with avenge the lost church members. I think Vaco is assuming the worst and wants to avenge their loss.
Okay.
And like, sure, maybe we get the relic or not, but it's mostly driven by I'm gonna go murder whatever's in there.
That sounds good to me.
Oh, kind of like vengeance.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay. My goal, I think, is I'm the actions of the shadowed acquaintance of the Abbot Garland, the Keeper of the Flame, catches my interest, and so I am very interested in retrieving the relic. I want to know what it is. It's of otherworldly origin.
It is otherworldly. Yep.
I'm definitely going to find out about it.
Awesome. So yeah, you just pop that into your goal. I guess your goal would be what to locate the otherworldly object or something like that, or. And then we have Alana. So Alana needs to have a goal as well. So I'm gonna come up with a goal for her, I believe. So Alana's gonna be fill my pockets with whatever I can find. That's gonna be her goal.
Mm-hmm.
With loot. So her goal is when her all of her slots are filled with loot, pretty much.
That's fitting, I guess.
Yeah. So you guys are gonna get some blessed torches. So what blessed torches do is you don't they provide a special type of light. So right now, if you can picture it, when you look up into the sky right now, it is kind of like a hazy red light that's kind of beaming through, like I don't know if it's clouds. I'm not sure what it is, but it's some type of we'll call it cosmic dust. So there's something that's clouding the skies, but it doesn't allow light to come through normally. In fact, it kind of gives everything a red hue. So it is a little bit effed up with regards to how well you can see. So even in the brightest of the days, you don't get full light in when you're outside. In fact,
Right.
sometimes the sun doesn't even bother coming up. Blessed torches allow you to have 2 turns of light, so not very long, and they will remove all negatives from the light. So all the negatives that you get because it's darker,
So
it just
it's
removes
just
the
like
negatives.
Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah. Now,
Does the light apply to everyone? So if I have a lit torch, does Kanagi also get the bonuses of it because she's standing next to me?
yeah. So this is a little bit strange because it's gonna sound a bit weird, but so the way that it works in this game is a torch increases the stage of light by 1. So in this case, if you were in complete darkness, and you lit a torch, you would be at stage 8, which would mean you would be at a dark flame. Because light doesn't work the same anymore. Light is kind of always kind of like darkened. It doesn't give you the same light as like you would expect it to give, like in the real world, let's say.
Right.
So it'll increase your stage by 1. So if you had the blessed flame lit, you would still be considered to be at the lowest stage, which would be like the negative stage down here. The only thing is you wouldn't be suffering any of these negative effects while you have a blessed torch lit.
I would like to try something.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to lean over and whisper to Elena, do you think you can steal one of the normal torches from that stack of torches that the Keeper of the Flame just lit?
Funny.
Mm.
Interesting.
I could just imagine it in terms of like Silver's characters, like if only we had these torches, and Elena's eyes glow and light up, and are like,
I just,
maybe I could
depending on her sleight of hand and how much is
Yeah.
going on, if she could just, grab
get
one,
one or two.
smother
Yeah.
it, and shove it in her bag or belt or whatever. If it's possible, I think that Vaco would kind of like try to get everybody's attention and be like, these adventurers will help you, and we
distraction
are
ploy.
excited to avenge your potentially fallen comrades, and we will retrieve the blessed item.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That sounds pretty good. So what we'll do first, then, I'll just give you the items that he gives out first, and we can figure out the slots, and then we'll go
Okay.
into
Mhm.
the steely parts before.
And
we
then we'll
actually
go
begin
into
our adventure.
thievery. Got it.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
it.
So let me go ahead and give you those. So who wants to take those stack of 4 first before we get the picking out some more torches?
Okay. So where we're assigning it?
Yeah. Who wants to take it?
I'll take them.
Okay. So,
Okay.
so let's drop them
I was
into
debating
your,
whether Elena would take it, maybe,
Yeah, Elena does have
I can-
slots. Yeah, but you can take it.
because then it might free us up for more
Let's do that then.
actions.
Yeah, I think you have.
That's smart.
Okay, Elena. Okay, so Elena's gonna carry the torches. Alrighty. Well, she'll never pass up opportunity for free torches, especially ones that are probably good gold to sell if people decide to sell them.
Ooh.
4 blessed torches. That is a carried 1. Alrighty.
Okay.
So the other thing is a map of the valley. Who's carrying that?
A map of the valley.
Yep.
So is interacting with a map in any way contingent to skills or anything?
So there is a rule in this game called the right tool. So if you use the right tool, you get an extra 1 dice for using it. So maps do 2 things. So a map will give you +1 when you're navigating in areas or trying to find things, give you a +1 dice. Maps are also used as fast travel. So you can travel to and fro places without having to worry too much about interacting with or traveling. I know it's an odd thing to say, but maps can be used in a way that once you draw maps, this is why cartography is really important in this game. If your character draws maps, then you can always return to the spot in which your map is drawn without having to make any rolls. But if you don't make a map, then you're going to have to wing it, right, every time.
Okay, so is Dungeoneer anyway useful for map handling?
So Dungeoneer is used for traveling through dungeons and exploring dungeons, but Cartographer is what you use for maps. Cartographer is literally like the map skill.
Oh, okay. I don't see a difference. Does Silver's character have any skills that would make map using good?
I do not have cartographer. I have Scout
Okay.
and Survivalist, which I feel like might
Yeah. Like you can still use
be.
maps for other things as long as like it might be
So I can
good.
use the map, I just can't make a map.
Yeah, well you can still make
Okay.
maps, but you would have to use beginner's luck or tap your nature.
Oh,
I'll take the map.
You'll take the map?
I
Okay.
think it makes sense for Silver to take the map.
Yep, so a map is one carried slot, so you can put it in any slot. You can put it in your belt if you want to.
Put it in my belt.
There you go. You just roll it up and stuff it in your belt.
Hmm.
The other thing is a sharpness charm. So this is a trinket. It's a vague trinket. So the other ones is 4 filled wineskins with actual wine in it. So wineskins
Oh.
are you can use it for your hungry and thirsty. You know, to get rid of that. I believe
Yeah.
that Vico, is it Vico?
Vaco.
Vaco.
Vaco. I think you're
Mm-hmm.
bulimic, so you can only use water and juices as like your form of nutrition. Otherwise, you can't. Food doesn't do anything for you. You just vomit it up, according to your quirk, right?
Food is never filling. Taking the hungry and thirsty condition does not remove your hopeful condition. So does that mean non-food does fill me up?
Uh,
Like wine?
yes. So basically, wine and
Oh.
water is what you need
I
to get rid
see.
of your hungry and thirsty. And so normally your very first uh, negative condition would get rid of your hopeful, but for you, if it's hungry and thirsty, you don't get rid of it. You keep your hopeful, which is good because it's an extra dice for everything you
Okay.
do. So who wants the 4 things of wine? They are they are carried each, so they can fit in your belt slot or your
Mm-hmm.
satchel, but they require 1 slot each.
Each.
Yeah.
Oh.
The wine itself is kind of interesting because if you're recovering from angry or you're recovering from afraid, it gives you a +1 dice to recover because you're getting loaded. So
Are we able to split them?
yeah, you can split the 4. Yeah, like there's 4 there.
Okay.
You can take 2 each, or you can give one. You can take somebody can take 2. The other people can take 1 each.
Do you want to split them equally?
I'll give one of mine to
Oh.
Elena, and then
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Minerva can carry 2.
Yeah, that's
We'll
true.
prioritize everybody else, and I can just be hungry.
Yeah. Okay.
Or I'll just take it back from her.
That's true. That's true.
Isn't the wine more useful to your character, Silver? I thought it was that
It's more useful
one
than
of the-
food would be, but if it's the only thing we have, then might as well let you guys stay hopeful as long as we can. Yeah.
Is it the only thing we have? Do we have more stuff
You
coming
are
on,
getting more
on
food.
the way?
You are getting fresh rations, so everybody's getting a fresh
Okay.
ration as well. So you can just put a fresh ration into your food thing. Now, it may not work very
Okay.
well for Vico, who don't really want to eat, but you can still carry it for somebody else. So a fresh ration goes into everybody's slot. The way the fresh rations work is fresh rations have 2 uses, so you can use it twice to get rid of hungry and thirsty.
Mhm.
They only use 1 slot. So unfortunately, there are no half slots. So if you got a half-eaten ration, that's still taking the slot up. Fresh rations, they last until you return to town.
Why don't I take 2 wineskin with wines, and I'll give Elena my fresh ration.
Okay.
So I've got 2 wines, and she's got 2
she's got
rations.
2. Yeah, let me
Yeah.
count up her slots here.
That sounds good.
We've got 1, 2. So she's carrying a bow and a quiver. So she doesn't have a
Mhm.
satchel. Or does she? Yeah, yes, she does. Okay, she got a quiver. No, she doesn't have a satchel. So she's got very limited amount of. She only got 5 carry slots. So let's see. So
Mhm.
that's in her hand. That's on her torso. That's on her torso. So she got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of her 5 slots are filled. Oh wait, she does have a satchel. I'm sorry. There's a satchel right here. So she has 3. So she has 4 regular torches and 1 fresh ration.
Mhm.
So now you will give her another one. So that gives her 3 fresh rations. So she started with
Okay.
some stuff. So
Oh, sweet. She's got torches already.
yeah, she's got regular torches. Yeah, we'll just have her pocket some meat or whatever in her pocket, or maybe it's bread or something. I don't know.
Good old pocket meat.
Yeah, pocket meat. Yeah.
Is that a baguette? Or are you excited to see me?
That's right.
Sorry.
Baguette. Yeah, she's
Wild.
yeah. Well, the funny part is too is that like she's got her pockets are filled with everything but loot. So if anything, she's gonna want her pockets empty so she can fill it with loot. Um, so the last thing before you get into the Robbie Steely parts
Mm-hmm.
is the trinket. So the trinket is called a sharpness charm. The razor tip neck piece, a tooth from a swine folk, an unexpected weapon. Effects: worn on neck. Add 1d, so 1 dice, to feint in kill conflicts.
Okay.
Tests for Death's Door are made at a -1 success. So in this case, it gives you a +1 dice when you're using feint, which is basically like underhanded techniques. So anytime you do something underhanded, which is like, kick him in the balls or whatever, or anything that's like, not an honorable type of fighting, then you get a +1 dice to it. But if you end up
Ooh.
falling to die, you will get 1 less success when you roll against surviving from Death's Door.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So what if I put my amulet in my pocket and I put the sharpness charm on?
Your neck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. All right. So the only other thing is that your memories of strength are locked. So right now you have no reason to remember better times. You are deep seated in your loathing and depression. You can't think of anything positive. So because of this, until something unlocks it, you can't use memories of strength. Okay.
Okay.
So memories are important in the game, but I don't think I need to kind of go over it. I will when you go to make a
Great.
test, okay? And then I'll go over that. But right now, you can't use memories of strength. You will eventually be able to use memories of strength, but right now, the only thing you have
Mhm.
available to you is memories of weaknesses, which means that you remember
Okay.
something terrible to happen to you, and it will result into something else. It'll result in a
Our
twist.
traumas.
Your trauma, yeah, a trauma will come up. That's about all you can do right now. You can only remember your traumas. You can't remember good times. Well, that'll change. So
Very Darkest Dungeon.
it is, yeah. So from my understanding, you want to get Elena to go rob, um, some of these torches, right? From the thing while
Yeah.
Silver Havoc is doing some speech stuff. Okay,
Right.
so that's fine.
Okay.
So you narrated it perfectly. So basically, you said you want Elena to go rob some jazz, and you're going. So that's fine. So you said you're going
Okay.
to use it yourself as a distraction. So what you did was inadvertently was if she goes ahead to do a scout, you are helping. So you will add a +1 dice to her pool when she goes to go rob
Yay.
it, right? Um,
Nice.
Generally speaking, helping dice, unless it makes narrative sense, right? Which in this case it does, uh, you would normally go to like the actual skill list and see which skills partner up with each other. So like there are certain skills that are what's called suggested help, but
Mm-hmm.
it's only suggestions, right? They're not written in stone. So if you could find another way to help with another skill, like for instance, you have orator, right?
Hmm.
So like you're kind of using your orator skill to kind of go blah 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 as like a helping thing. So as long
Yes, that's actually exactly what I'm doing. Perfect narration.
yeah blah 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 blah
Perfect.
blah blah
Ah, rah, 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 rah,
blah
rah.
blah blah. That's just me. So that's what you're doing. So I'm going to change the music because that's probably been playing like a million times. Let's see. Okay. All right. So this is what an act against the. So this is an act against the abbot. So the abbot is considered to be the desperate few, and you're robbing the desperate few. So that's going to probably end up causing loathing, depending upon the result. So let me just double check with that. So that's loathing, and then we're going to go ahead and make the roll just to make sure. The flame, loathing's here. Loathing levels. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll see. So this is how the game essentially works here. So we're going to take a look at this. It's going to be a versus roll because you're trying to get around. She's trying to get around the scout, so she's going to be sneaking around when everybody's looking at you doing your big speech, whatever. Even though people have already kind of dispersed because they're scared that we're going to be pulled up with this. This scouting crew. Nobody wants to go out and fight because nobody's brave enough. I guess your speech, you're trying to draw them in to draw the attention away. We'll give +1. So she has a scout of 4. That's pretty good. So she's going to get 4 dice because of that. Your +1, she gets +1 dice because she's hopeful. So she's going to get that as well. So that's 5 dice.
Helping dice?
Yeah, so the hopeful gives a helping dice, and as well as Vico will also give a helping dice. So she's gonna have 6 dice. So that's pretty good.
Right.
The abbot, on the other hand, let me look down at what the abbot has. So we're gonna take a look at the abbot's. So robbing the desperate few. That's fun. So the
when you put it that way, it's really just gathering supplies to help the desperate few.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just alleviating the abbot's burden.
Yeah, so the abbot doesn't have scout, which means that they're going to have to get 3 divided by 2, so they're only getting 1 dice. So very good chance they're going to successfully do this. So 6 versus 1.
Hey.
So I'll just do the roll. If somebody wants to roll, I guess in my stead here, somebody roll for Ilana. So basically roll.
Okay.
Roll 666.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will roll 1d6. So that is, so 4 is a success, 4 is a success. So that's 2 successes. And I have 1 success. What is 6? Obviously 2 successes beats with the 1. So Elena successfully
barely, damn.
robs it. So what happens now is generally you would narrate how you succeeded. So seeing how the only player character is Havok, or Vico, I'm gonna let you narrate the situation about how Alana was able to go ahead and rob the extra torches that were upon the altar while you were distracted. So you go ahead and narrate that.
So how many torches do you think were there, like roughly?
Let's roll a d4 and find out.
Okay. Interesting.
3.
So I think she's gonna be subtle. I think she's just gonna grab 1. That way there's still like a flame and everything. And as Vaco is droning on and on about how valiantly we're about to go investigate, avenge, and recover, she's going to kind of stealth along behind everyone and really elegantly reach in and grab a burning torch and like flick it real fast to like flick the fire out, and then like real smooth just like stash it in the side of her pack.
Nice.
It's really sleight of handy and fast.
Really fast. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna give her another one. So that's a separate slot because it's past the 4. So she'll get 1 extra 1 and a carried slot. 1 carried. Now, if she had all 3, she would only take 1 slot as well. But that makes sense that you only got 1. So
I feel like 1 could be filched without it being super obvious.
Yep. No,
but if you took all 3, that seems a little
sus. Okay.
A little sus.
Yeah. And let's see if that caused any loathing. So I'm going to let you guys kind of make a decision with that. You tell me if it caused loathing. Probably not, but... so loathing... such as the flame brings hope, loathing infests the world by the world with a spreading stain. So this whole idea is that there are two different aspects of the world. There is the flame, which brings hope, which is kind of like the keepers of the flame. That's kind of like their whole deal, to worshiping the flame. And then there's the spreading stain, which is basically the occult. The occult is essentially winning the battle. Like everything is pretty much stained at this point. The world is got this ever-growing haze that blankets the world. When refusing help, inciting fear or panic, or simply an inaction of what is needed can cause the flame to lose its light as it tries to fight against the darkness of the spreading loathing. This can reduce the flame's records. So in this case, do you think you did any of those things? Probably not. Hey, refusing to help, inciting fear, panic, or inaction.
No,
I feel
I
like we're
think,
good, especially
Mm.
since we didn't get caught.
I think
So-
the
But
whole
it's for
point
the
of this
it's for the
operation.
greater good. We're still
Mhm.
going to help.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
I think we're okay.
Okay, so even though yep, so in that case, like if you were like because like in Darkest Dungeon, the actual game Darkest Dungeon 2, you can
Mhm.
rob people, right? You can rob the when you go up to like the desperate few, they offer assistance or they offer stuff, but you can also straight up rob them, right? And when you
Right.
rob them, it takes away the hope, right? Which it extinguishes the flame. So in this case, it's probably not warranted enough that you like, maybe if you took all the flame, maybe there might have been a bit more of a thing. But because you kind of were being very like, hey, you know what, we just need an extra one to do this. I think I'm good with what your explanation say. You did not cause any
Okay.
loathing to these people.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, perfect. Uh,
Nice.
so assuming you guys are heading out, you got your goals. We'll get
Mhm.
into the next step. And
It
it begins. So, let me go ahead and change the music for that. I like music. I play it in all my games.
Mhm.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's a bit much. Okay. So, given the map and the extra torch that you acquired, you're able to transverse out. So your little speech might have inspired some people that you may end up bringing some hope to them. So
Yay.
you have a couple of people, not a lot, but you have a couple that are kind of like I wish your safety. I hope you return, or well wishes. You also have a lot more naysayers being like, well, might as well you go die with the rest of them then. I'll just stay behind these walls. Right?
Mhm.
The person that lets you out, I guess we'll call him like the gatekeeper or the doorkeeper, because these are like wooden walls. They're pretty flimsy. You think that if an actual invasion happened, these walls probably wouldn't last very long. He says, uh, "Well, do I just scratch your name off the list then?" He says with this like tooth missing grin, and he just kind of like gives you a little giggle as you guys end up leaving.
Okay.
Very much not expecting you to return.
You can scratch our name off the list, but be ready to put it right back on it in a few days.
We'll be back in a few days. So luckily, the catacombs is not super far. It's probably just a matter of probably 3 to 4 hours. Unfortunately, in that time, the sun or what light the sky has brought already has been fading. And by the time you get to the catacombs, the light itself is of the world has already been spent.
Mhm.
So you stand before the catacombs. So let me open that up.
Here we go.
You stand before a large statues of. They look like most of them look like they've been shattered or rebelled or turned into ruins of sort. They look like probably people of noble heritage at one point, but the world itself has now been changed since the most civilized matter, and now this is kind of like remnants of the old world, of when there used to be order upon the world, and now it's just riddled into chaos. Before you is a gaping opening of an unknown tomb. Well, unnamed tomb at this time. You don't know who's inside.
Mhm.
With stairs leading deeper into the depths. The smell, the terrible odorous fragrance emanating from within the cave, smells of death and decay. Obvious. The perfect place, or the perfect type of smell you would expect from a catacomb. um, and yeah, the stairs themselves look to be made of stone, though they are badly damaged and chipped. But other than that, there are no other signs of anybody here, other than probably a few footsteps in the murky road that led your way here. What do you do?
Well, I think we get into order. Does a normal torch only have a 2-turn limit, or do they last longer?
Right.
Torches have 2-turn limits. If you wish to have like one that lasts as a full 4 rounds, which is what we would call a full round, right? So I'm not a round, I guess. A grind is for 4 turns. So if you want a full grind, I know that's an odd way to say it, you would need to get a lantern. A lantern with oil can last 4 turns.
Okay.
Are we able to descend the stairs without a light source, or is it too dark?
No, you can. So right now, your light source while you're outside is considered to be. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Where is my shared? Okay, here we go. Is considered to be at stage 7. So right now, this is where we're starting to, and then every room you move, you'll move deeper. You'll move to another stage. So the first room, you'll have the light source until the grind
Mm-hmm.
puts the light source out, because time is passing. But if you move deeper into the thing, it'll move the stage down to stage 8. So right now, if you go down there, all tests are made at a -1.
Okay.
Without any light source. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's
so
fine. We're just moseying.
Yep. Yeah, you're good.
So we're before this catacomb. I'm guessing it's a descending like stairwell going
Yes.
down.
It is kind of like it looks like the stairways goes down to a landing and then it hits a wall, and it looks like that wall turns and probably has more descending stairs.
Right. So I'm assuming then my character probably looks at it and goes, and it is like looking at it with interest, looking at the signs that, obviously this is an area where creatures come out of, because it's like we need to seal it.
Yeah,
and
well,
I guess we're going to steel ourselves and proceed. So I take a kind of upright, noble bearing. I dust off the dust off my shoulders, and walk forward.
okay. So you're braving yourself up to go into the dark. Excellent.
Hmm.
Atlanta's gonna probably like tag behind you and say, as long as there's something good in there, I'm with you, but this better be worth my time, Kanagi. You know how much I hate when you waste my time.
Believe me, it'll be worth your while.
I think
Okay.
Vaco's gonna act a little bit surprised that Minerva's going first, but fall in very quickly behind her in front of Elena.
Okay.
Right.
The Plague Doctor in
I
front.
think because I have the kind of like foolhardiness, and I've got an impatience. There's the relic in there.
The
There's
arrogance.
research to be done. So
Mm.
I'm stepping first into it, when otherwise it might have been better to have Vago go first as the kind of like front line person.
Vaco's just kind of walking unbothered. This is
Yeah.
not especially exciting for her. Nor is it like something she's dreading. She's just like, okay, well, it's a Tuesday and we're going into Catacombs, so let's go.
An average Tuesday night.
Let's go. So this would be, your characters probably had previous adventures before, but this would be the first one that they went out to adventure as like a symbol of hope.
A group.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys were
So we
probably
don't really know each other that well
you
either.
don't know each other very well. No, it's basically you guys were kind of forced on this. to go on, and you were the only ones who stepped up for it. So perhaps in the future we may have more brave souls that wish to join us. But well, for now,
Yeah.
just you two and the NPC. So,
Okay.
all right. So, with that being said, I will tell you what the next room is. So you guys go down a spiraling staircase. The stairs
Mm-hmm.
themselves worn from the many, many years in which this place stood. Of course, the smell of death is getting thicker as you begin getting closer. Once you go down about 2 landings worth of stairs, um, you find yourself uh, in front of a hallway, a sign at the start of the entranceway covered in dirt. And so it's kind of hard to read. You can see 4 open caskets lining the sides of the walls, one of which is closed but is half buried under rubble, with banners the same as in the castle, the keep's ruins. So basically, the ruins of the keep, which the town is surrounding, the same banner is in here. Um,
Okay.
there are shattered bones littering the floor. There are footprints that can be seen going down the hallway. What do you do?
Okay. So I've descended down kind of ambitiously ahead of everyone. Um, I look around,
Mhm.
noting the casket and the banner.
Mhm.
And I want to, like, I look to Elena and go, pass me your cloth. Or rip some shred off your clothing. Let me wipe the sign. As if it's as if I don't want to touch the dirt.
She rolls her eyes and just kind of like just takes another piece of cloth. It seems like this is not the first time you've asked. Rips it from her shirt, and then hands it over to you, but kind of in a saucy manner, like "Pff, whatever. Once again, asking me for more shit. Where's the loot, kind of thing, you know. Ugh. But she
I
gives it to
wasn't
you.
literally asking for the shirt off your back.
Oh,
Be quiet, Elena. So
that's hilarious.
I grab the cloth and I wipe in a eager to know what information it. I wipe away the dirt.
Sure. The sign says the royal tomb of the Latimer family.
Oh. So that's interesting. I turn to Vaco and I go, have you heard of this family?
If you
Have I heard of this family?
so if you wish to descend into revealing information or creating your own lore, that is
Mm-hmm.
something you can do. That is a lore master test,
Oh.
but you get to add in your own story if
Is
you end
Lore
up.
Master a skill?
It is a skill, but
Oh.
unless you create, like I said, this game is kind of you're half GM. So if you use lore master, you get to create some your own lore and add it to the game for this family. But if you don't have it, you can beginner's luck it if you want to.
Background question. This hamlet that we're in,
Mhm.
where is it in relation to the sprawl?
So the sprawl is many leagues away, but this so the valley would be the outskirts of the stain. So the spreading stain is kind of like the overarching darkness or haze or whatever you want to call it that's been driving everybody to go crazy and go insane. The sprawl is probably dead
Mm-hmm.
center of that. So the sprawl would be in the center of the madness.
So this is not like a suburb that is really close to where I'm from.
Not even close, no.
Okay.
And you would both be probably from the same sprawl because it's a mega city, right? So
Okay, so that means nothing to me then. I guess it means that it's the royal tomb of the Latimer family.
whatever.
That's what it means.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Very well, very well. If you didn't know about the Vladimir family, I shall enlighten you.
You're gonna try? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Do
going to
it, do
try.
it.
All
Hell
right.
yeah.
So Kanagi, you got a
Mhm.
choice in the matter. So you can use
Okay.
a beginner's luck,
Mhm.
or you can do what's called tap your nature. So by tapping your nature, you can use nature in
Mhm.
place of any skill you don't have, which means you'll get your straight up 4 dice um, to use. Uh, but here's the kicker for it. There's two
Right.
things with it. If you use nature to do it, you don't get to learn the new skill. You're just using your base humanity to use a skill. However, if you fail your nature skill, you tax it. So what I mean is, if I give you an ob and you fail, for every
Mhm.
point you fail, you lower your nature by 1. Okay.
Okay.
If your nature ever hits 0, you become stressed out, which means you start stressing yourself out, and then eventually you start stressing your friends out. You start causing
Mhm.
stress, and then your max nature drops by 1. Um,
Okay.
if
I'm not sure if I will use my nature.
Okay, in that case, then you're going to use beginner's luck. So what I'm going to get you to do
Right.
is write down on your skills, anywhere in a blank skills thing. You're going to write down
Mhm.
lore master.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh,
th- yep.
there we go. Okay.
And then in your rating, you're going to put an X, and then you're going to put a W in the RA, or the raw ability, the raw attribute.
Okay.
All right. So the ob is ob 3.
Mhm.
So in this case, you're going to take all of your will dice.
Yeah.
So you've got 4 so far. And
Mhm.
now you get to do a couple of things. You can take a look at your traits. If you can narrate in one of those traits, then you're going to get the bonus for it. So in this case, you could use, let's
Mhm.
say, thoughtful, if you're
Yeah,
taking the
that's what I
time
was
to kind of
thinking.
think, right? So you can, because I think you already kind of said that in a way, being like, well, I could tell you what to do. You're kind of like thinking about it. Um,
Mhm.
so that would add an extra dice. So that's +1.
Okay.
Uh, Elena, her skills are only criminal, scout, dungeoneer, and manipulator. If we take a look at the suggested skill help, um, I need to open up. I have a cheat sheet here. Maybe I should open that up. Which because it does have a lot of this written in there, like what the help skills are and stuff. But if you take a look at the skill list and you take a look at what we're looking at here, lore master.
Mhm.
Um, so suggested help for lore master is anarchist and theologian, which neither of that the Elena doesn't have. So really, Elena's going to be like shrugging her shoulders, being like, "I can't help you with this. I don't know anything about this."
Okay.
Vico uh, doesn't.
Vago.
Vico, sorry,
Okay.
doesn't really have the skills either. So chances are you're not going to be able to. What? Wait, no. What do you have a will +1 there? You shouldn't have anything.
Have a
Um,
look.
that's okay. So yeah. So chances are that's all you're getting is 5 dice. So that's one thing you could do. So using your traits as a positive gets you an extra dice. It could give you more, depends on what it is. So you've done that. So you're using
Mhm.
thoughtful. So we're gonna check use once per session. So if you take a look at your thoughtful, use this session, just check that.
Okay.
Which means you can't use thoughtful anymore for this session.
Okay.
Um, or I can
So,
do that.
where do I use this session?
Yeah,
Here we
I,
go.
I just checked it there. Or you can check it again. The other
Yeah.
thing you could do is you can tap persona. So right now you have one persona. So you can spend one
Mhm.
persona to add an extra dice. Or you can spend it to tap your nature.
How difficult is this role? Presumably.
So you have to get 3 successes.
Yeah.
And you're getting half the
Oh.
amount of dice that you're getting. So right now you have 5 dice, so you're going to go down to 2 if we split that in half.
Oh, so that it's not possible
It
unless I get an extra
is.
dice.
No, it is.
Oh.
There's another thing that I'll explain, but yeah. So it is. It right now it's very difficult. Very difficult.
Wow.
But if
Okay.
you do get but if you do use your persona, you have a choice of tapping your nature, which means you add 4 dice from nature to your roll.
Mm-hmm.
But remember what I said about failing nature. The same thing applies if you tap it. Um,
Right.
or you can just give it just to give you a straight up 1 extra dice. And it'll give you 3 dice once we split it.
I could be using up a lot of things that might be useful later just to add a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean that's up to you, right? Is whatever is important to you.
Yeah. At the same time, if I'm successful at this, I learn lore, right? Lore master.
You don't learn
I
it.
think you should send it.
Yeah, you don't learn it. What happens is that you get one of the blips for it. And
Uh-huh.
since your max nature is 4, you have to use more lore master, fail or pass 4 times to give it a base of 2 to learn it. So you can't
Oh,
learn lore master until you use it 4 times at this current
okay.
rate.
Hmm.
It's a good start though.
I'll use persona.
Okay, so get rid of your persona and put it in spent. So you can only level your character as long as you spend the stuff. So if you keep it in your total, you can never level your character. Your character only levels based on how much fate, persona, and glimmers of hope they spent. So if you take a look down on your page, you can see
Mm-hmm.
that in order for you to get to level 2, you're going to need to spend 3 fate, 3 persona, and 1 glimmer of hope. Once you have those 3
Right.
things
So
spent, you can level up to level 2.
I really like how much this rewards you for actually using your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the downfalls of D&D is spell hoarding.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And it's
you'll see the game gets it's the type of game that I think pushes people to do things even if it's uncomfortable.
well, the goal
And
is to play the game.
yeah,
Yeah.
Play the game.
heck yeah,
Use the
Okay.
points.
heck yeah, I agree.
So how many dice do I have?
So that's 6 in total minus 2. Divided by 2. So you got 3 dice. So if we go to your d20, so now you have the capability of rolling 3d6, and you need 3 successes. Unfortunately,
I believe in you.
that means you have to get 4, 5, and 6s on all dice.
Right.
Good luck. Don't worry, you get to find out what happens when you fail.
Okay. So 3 6s.
Oh!
Hey!
Oh, nice.
Crazy!
Let's go!
So go ahead and mark a
That's
success on your lore master. So
Okay.
a pass. A P for pass.
Wait. There we go. Here?
Yeah, the P. Yep, you got it. And if you use it 3 more times, regardless if you pass or fail, at your current nature,
Mm-hmm.
you will level it up. Now, if your nature drops, because you can also drop your nature, it allows you to learn your skills
Mm-hmm.
faster, but you lose more humanity. So your nature is your humanity. So the lower your nature, the more of a inhuman person you are. So that could be because you're too much of a hero, people don't understand you. You're too much into the darkness, people don't understand you. And
Mm-hmm.
the higher your nature is how close you get to being a human, like a regular desperate few, like those people that you're saving. So once you hit 6,
Right.
you're like very skittish, and you want to do boasting, demanding, and running, right? Those are the human traits. So
Oh.
so yeah, well then, go ahead and narrate. So add let me go ahead and read up what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Lore Master. All right. So Lore Master are the stewards of history. So now it was an Ob 3, places of power or unexplained phenomenons. So you now can go ahead and insert some lore about the Latimer family.
Okay. So let me get into it.
All right, sibling. Listen, no,
Yeah.
simpleton. Listen to me.
So after Silver was like, obviously, oh, sorry. After Vaco is like, it's obviously just the catacombs or the What did the sign say again? The
Uh,
royal.
family
The
of the
royal
Latimer family.
tomb.
Yeah, the royal tomb of the Latimer family. Is it?
Yeah, and they were like, it's obviously the royal tomb of the Vladimir.
That's right.
And I was like, well, let me enlighten you. So, the Vladimir family are well known in these parts. A fallen family, to say the least, but well known. Their wealth was known in all quarters of these lands, and their libraries of great interest to me.
Hmm.
We could do well to venture here. Elena, you said I was going to waste your time. Well, old friend, you could have full pockets by the time we're done.
Let's loot this old smelly dead king. Time.
Very eloquent, Elena, very eloquent.
So yes, the Latimer family is known for their vast knowledge, wealth of knowledge, and would you believe it? That from your Lord Master themselves, you know that they are known for hidden libraries, hidden amongst the most unexpected places. Perhaps you'll find one.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Excellent. Uh,
Okay.
so what happens with that now is you made a
Mm-hmm.
roll that advances time. So I should have gave you a -1. Doesn't matter. We'll cancel that for now. So we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
advance because nobody. We'll just say that Alina turned on a torch or something for that, because otherwise you
Okay.
would have failed it. So we'll put a torch there. Um, so she's cooking the torch right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that'll be one of the torch uses. That's fine. And we're here. So
Okay.
that's just one use.
Okay. Um. So we're in this room. There are two caskets, isn't there? There's one
Yes.
that's slightly open, and then there's one that's buried in rubble. Is that
There
correct?
are four that are already open, and then
Okay.
there's one that is half buried in rubble, but is not open.
Okay.
Your voice echoes in the chambers as well, off the walls as you speak.
I see. So as our eyes adjust to the light of the torch that's been recently lit.
Right, and I forgot to say that the torch itself is a white flame.
Ooh.
Right.
It
Is
Ooh.
this
it
one of
gives
the blessed torches?
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I suggest to each of us, the three of us, to look around, to peer into the caskets.
All right, and Silver, what is it that you do? What does Vok Ho Vic Ho? I can't say
Yeah,
it.
Vaco.
Vaco do.
Baker.
Um, I think she scoffs a little bit at the general filtery, but goes along with it because, in the grand scheme of things, we probably do need more stuff so that we can smack things better.
Okay.
And she knows that royal slash wealthy family members are often buried with a weapon, like if they had their specific fancy sword or something.
hmm
So, knowing that there's a possibility for sharp things, she's gonna go along with looting.
Sounds good. All right. So I'll explain what's going on here. So you guys begin checking through. I guess you, Vaco, will be checking through the open caskets. You find bones, but you find that like there's missing bodies in these four.
Oh,
Inside is pretty bare. It looks like it's already been picked clean. Um, but there was definitely something laid in here, probably a matter of days ago. But they're completely gone. But there are signs that it's likely that they didn't have any skin upon them.
Oh.
They were probably just bones. But the one casket is completely closed. Would require some work to get that open.
Do
Okay.
we want to try and deal with this, or maybe we should like check it on the way out if we've got the oomph for it? What do you think?
So I think that we should inspect it.
Alrighty.
All the other ones have not been opened.
Yep.
This one looks like it's a chance for something. At
wants it?
least.
Okay,
I'd
go
like to know what the caskets are made of as we inspect, please.
Yes.
So it is. They are stone.
Ah, darn.
They're like
Okay.
sarcophaguses, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I'm guessing Elena is going to be quite eager at this. So they're going will be all together, coming together to I go to Vico and I say, get that muscle moving. We need this lid slid off. Get to it.
Wow, that's funny.
Vaco is going to take a solid like 10 seconds and just stare down Minerva and blink like really slowly. Like,
That's funny.
you know, the kind of stare down slow blink that like says you're a complete idiot? That kind of like stare and blink. But then after 10 seconds, she is going to go ahead and do it because she was probably going to do it anyway. And now it's not her idea, and she's a little bit pissed that she's being told what to do when she was going to do it anyway. But after
I legit love the interaction between you two. I think that's really fitting for this type of game is being like frenemies. So that's great. I love it.
After staring down Minerva for a little bit, she doesn't say anything. She just kind of stares and blinks, and then does a little bit of a
being like, I know you're going to do it anyway.
You know, yeah, you can tell that I'm going to do it anyway. And then after a prolonged eye contact, she turns around and kind of like dramatically rolls up her sleeves while keeping eye contact. And then goes to, I guess, try to push the lid, like kind of pivot it. That way she doesn't have to move all the stuff that's crumbled around it, but maybe can just like pivot the lid to give an opening that's uncovered.
Yep. So to remove the cover, it is half buried underneath the rubble. You can certainly do it. It is going to be a health test for your strength, for your brute strength. So if you wish to continue, I can give you your ob.
So health test, that's I get as many die as I have health.
You got it.
And am I able to help?
Yep, you will be. You will be able to help.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All of
yes, I would like to continue.
Okay, so that's an ob 3 health test. So ob 3, so you're going to hear a lot of threes. Threes are like your average difficulty. 2 is going to be usually a simpler task. 4 gets a bit more difficult. 5 is kind of like an almost like a near impossible. 6 is an impossible task, right?
Okay.
So those are kind of like the ob ratings you're going to hear a lot of. But yeah, an ob 3 test. So that means you got your 5 dice for your health. Plus, if you want to use any of your traits, which will give you a +1. So if you want to look at your traits and see if any of those can be narrated, so you have to narrate the trait in. If you can't narrate it, you can't do it.
Do I get an extra from the blessed torch that's still burning, or is that
so the blessed torch only negates negatives, so you won't get the -1 from darkness.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And then do I get one from Minerva, quote unquote, helping?
As long as Minerva narrates how they're helping.
Okay. So I help by I look at them heaving with muscle, and I look at Elena, and then we both put our hands pushing it. Of course, I'm curious what's in there.
Right,
I
and
can't overcome
Minerva's
my curiosity.
Elena's also going to give a helping dice because Elena doesn't want any boxes to be not opened And this is box shape.
Yes.
Cannot be opened.
So I get 2 extra die.
That's correct. So the maximum
Sweet.
amount of helping dice you can receive for a single test is 3. So in this case, 2 helping dice is what you're getting. If you use a trait that is not considered to be a helping dice, so you could technically have 3 helping dice plus a trait. So if you want it, you can add a trait, or you can save your traits for later.
I think I'll save my traits for later.
So that is 7 dice versus Ob 3. So if you want to go ahead and roll 7 dice and see what we got there. Yep, that's 4 successes. Nice.
Nice.
Let's go. So I absolutely brutally just hoof and heave it like almost too hard.
You just like throw it into the other casket and it just rolls around.
It's a much more dramatic removal than it should have been, really. Like, I could have just cracked it and left the lid kind of half on, but instead I shove it all the way off and the lid like crashes down and there's like some dust and shit.
As that happened, I cough at the dust mite and I scowl at Baker and be like, please. You could have done that more gently.
And
that's
I just
on purpose.
Look at her and go, I shrug a little bit and go, oops.
Ilana's already got her head in the casket. Ooh, what's in here? What's in here? So she takes out the items, what's in there. She's grabbing something. She's just pulling something. So she rips what looks to be a she rips these looks like they're jewels from this corpse, and then kind of waves it in front of you guys like, "Ooh, look what I have!" And it's three different three different jewels she found inside, and she's all proud of herself.
So I grab her wrist that's waving like an annoying insect in front of me, and I go, let me look at that. And so I'm looking at it, at the gems, which are kind of like intrigue me. So do I get to like I'm inspecting them?
Yeah, sure.
What do they look like?
Yeah, so they're various types of gems. They kind of look like they were part of some sort of jewelry at one point, but maybe the jewelry itself has rotten away or has fallen apart. But they're essentially gems. They're about I guess thumb sized, and they certainly got some value. Perhaps one of them kind of looks like ruby, and one of them looks kind of like sapphire. They definitely have some type of value to them. They definitely show that this place probably has loot and money galore in here. Each of these are valued at 1d each, due to their size.
Vako says, excellent, 3 gems, 3 of us. I'll take the blue one. And she plucks the blue one out of the hand that's being held by Minerva.
Hey, what are you doing? She just takes one out. Okay. Go ahead and write down. So these can be stacked up to 4. But if you don't stack them up, they can go in your pocket as well. But they do take up a carried slot. So you can put a carried slot of 1d worth of gems. But if somebody carries all of them, it's all in one slot.
Or I could just carry all of them.
Yeah, you can take them all from her. Yeah.
So for me, I look at them after realizing that they're not of any interest to me. They have no academic value, no otherworldly value. I kind of just drop them, and Alina's like, "What are you doing?" And Reiko is like, "I'll take that then."
Yeah, I think
I'll just
whatever.
I'll just carry all of them, and we'll deal with that when we get back to town.
Just wipe the dirt off a little bit and carry on. Yeah, fair enough. Now that being said, though, I just want to let you know. I mean, gems does have so gems. Do they have any alchemic values? Some supplies may use these gems, but that's only if you're a spellcaster like an arcanist or something like that, right?
Or I have alchemy.
Yeah, alchemy is different. Alchemy is more like making stelves, elixirs, vapors, and poisons. But arcanist Arcanist is like using
Oh.
spells, and certain spell components are like gems and
Ah,
stuff can be used, right? Jewels and that kind of stuff.
I see. I
As
see.
part of the occult, right? Yeah. Excellent. Well, I think you've successfully figured out this room, I guess, or what seems to be left of it. Just to reiterate the room for anything. So there was a sign that says Latimer family that you guys
Mhm.
uncovered. There are 5 open caskets now. There are some rubble on one of the caskets. Uh,
Oops.
there were scattered bones littered all over the floor, and there are footprints going down the hallway. That's basically what the end result so far has been.
Oh,
Shall we
are these
proceed?
footprints the footprints of others, or is it our footprints
Footprints
coming
of
in?
other. Oh, also, by the way, your blessed torch has been spent. Would you like to light another?
Hmm. So how many do we have left now?
You have 4 left because that was your freebie.
Oh, right. Okay. Um.
So you can a regular
So,
torch will put you at well, if you're moving down the hallway, it's going to put you back to the same stage. If you're moving down the hallway.
mm,
But right now you're on stage 7 because we have no torch, the flame, no hope.
so all tests are made with -1 dice.
Yeah.
Okay. Um.
We can hack
But
that.
how quickly can we light a torch? By the way,
Oh, you
if
can
we're in
light
a
it anytime.
situation we.
Yep.
Okay.
Unless
And
the only time you can't do it is in the middle of a test, but which is what I did last time. But I did it more so because I sort of forgot about it
mhm.
myself. So
Okay. Um.
I think maybe we
So
proceed with a torch at the ready.
okay.
yeah, ready at to light because we know that it's a limited resource.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. So we will now have a little bit of loot in our pocket, and I'm guessing Elena is all the chipper for it, but maybe a little upset that the stones are not yet in their pocket. Um. So we see the footprint leading in, presumably that of the prior heroes, the heroes that have not yet returned.
Presumably, yes.
So I look to the others and notice I remark on and say, so these are our forerunners. I guess we have no choice but to follow in their footsteps. And I make my way forward, following
Wow.
the footprints.
Such arrogance. And what do you do, Vico?
Bacon.
Vigo's ready to go.
Mhm.
Let's go.
Doesn't have too much dramatic to say. Just like,
Okay.
well, we planned on coming in here to find folks and avenge folks and grab a relic, and there ain't no relic in here, so
Carry on. All right.
away we
Perfect.
go.
Excellent. Okay. So you trek down to the hallway. So the way that works now is we move to a different area.
Mhm.
Now this game doesn't measure things; it's in feet and whatever. So things usually it just end up being areas of importance. So you're going to move to another area of importance. So because you don't have a torch, that's going to bring you down to stage 8, in the same spot
Mhm.
you were. So I think
Right.
you were here. No, it doesn't really change anything. Just brings you down. Okay, because the
Okay.
light that's coming from the catacombs staircase is fading away.
Okay.
All right. So it's still 1 dice, so it's fine until you want to light up a blessed torch, or a regular torch will just bring you back up to stage 7. So at this point, regular torches don't do much, just the blessed torches.
Okay.
Okay, so moving onward. As you begin walking down the hallway, you find an open area on your right. So basically, the hallway keeps going, but there's an open area, kind of like embedded in the stone. So it's kind of like almost like a shrine. You know what I mean? Now you can obviously continue walking down the hallway in the same line you're going, but to your right, I'll explain what you see. It's just an open area. There's no door. It's just like a big open faced area, open concept, living room. Um, you see a pedestal with a strange misfigured statue covered in a red substance that looks like old blood. The hallway has some rusty metal objects covered in dirt. That's in the pathway before you. What do you do?
Okay. So for me, I look towards the statue on the pedestal with interest. I
Mhm.
take note of the blood, and I'd look towards the rusted objects. And then I turn to Elena and say, have a look at that idol, that statue. Not willing to risk it myself.
Do I know enough about dungeons and traps to know if that looks like a trap?
Let's take a look. So
I have
traps,
survivalist, but not dungeoneering.
dungeoneering is the skill you need for that. Yeah. Survivalist is kind of setting up camps in the wilderness. Dungeoneering
Okay,
is like all the things to do with dungeons and such.
that makes
Uh,
So
sense.
I think Elena has dungeoneering, right?
so Elena, let me take a look. So Elena has Criminal Scout Dungeoneering 3. That's correct.
Okay.
So Elena's kind of scoffs a little bit, once again giving an order, walks over to the statue and observes it, pushes it a little bit with her hand, and says, "Oh, looks like it's just a statue to me," having no concept of what it actually is.
Mhm.
But she does notice that the top part of the statue does seem to lift off. She goes, "Well, I guess more loot for me," she says. She just grabs the statue.
I grab her wrist again with little regard
Bad,
for
battling.
anything, and I go, steady with your light fingers, and I look at it with interest, inspecting it and looking at the blood,
Okay, so
and
yep.
I note that the blood is old, so I think, it's clear that something's happened here, and the statue's been involved in some sort of altercation. But I don't notice any other unique features to it. So I just
you may.
Oh, okay.
Do you
I'll inspect
do
it
you want to
then.
inspect it? So inspecting is
Hmm.
going to be a theologian skill.
Oh, I do. Does anyone have that? Do any of we?
I don't.
No, no, I don't. So if we don't have the skill and we wanted to inspect it, what happens?
Same thing. It's a beginner's luck, or you use your nature instead.
Oh, I'm okay. I'll use my nature.
Okay. So in this case, it's going to be an Ob 2 theologian.
Okay.
If you're using your nature, you don't get to learn the skill, but you get to make a roll. So in this case, you're going to take 4 dice.
Okay.
You're going to roll 4 dice against Ob 2. People can still help if they have an appropriate skill to the base skill. So in this case here, theologian is like the study of artifacts and religious symbols and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this looks like it may be something of a religious symbol type. Um, so if we could take a look at the helping skills for that. So if we take a look at, I really just, you know what, I'm going to open up the cheat sheet here because I
I
don't.
have a stretch that you might say no to, but I'm going to try it anyway.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I have the hunter skill, which means that I am well versed in things being bloodied. Is there any way that I can use the knowledge that I have as a hunter to figure out if this was like used to bash someone's skull in
Oh,
versus
forensics.
like ritual ceremonial blood being poured on it?
Hunter probably wouldn't help with ritual. They would
Damn
definitely
it.
be able to help if you were trying to see how long something's been dead. So if this was about like, hey, like how old is this blood or something like that, if somebody was rolling healer to kind of determine the time of death or time of blood, Hunter could be used to being like, yeah, that seems pretty fresh or whatever, right?
That's fair.
Yeah.
It
So
was worth a try.
oh yeah, it's context, right? No, to be honest, like context is basically all it is. It's basically like it was a good try though. I agree. Yeah.
I love the idea of like a guard. I think that was your background that you were
Yep.
like yeah.
My profession is
Had-
bashing things
Yeah.
until they bleed.
Well,
So
but
it's
your
just been used
wizened
to bash
experience
things
gives
until
you
it
like
bleeded.
like a CSI kind of like forensic ability. Yeah.
So the suggested skills is scholar and ritualist.
Okay, I'm a scholar.
But you can't help yourself.
Oh dang.
Yeah. You can only use your traits or your
Okay,
wises.
or I could use beginner's luck and you could help me.
Oh.
That is true, but you're using
Yeah.
half your health.
We can do it like
You'll be losing half
the
your dice though.
wizened experienced CSI kind of thing. I'd love that.
True.
Okay.
Also, I don't know if we can change that because you already gave us the ob, and
Yeah, I did.
that seems like the locked-in spot that
That is
Minerva
correct.
needs to do it.
Unfortunately,
So.
the moment that ob is given, there's no changes can be made to the test. You have to make it, and it has to
Gotcha.
be with the
That makes sense.
Yeah, person who indicated it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What is the stain that looks like 3 days? Have you punched someone's lights out? Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, this is what it looks like when I don't clean my tunic for 3 weeks.
Nice.
Okay.
So yeah, that's going to be an ob 2. It's not that difficult. And it's going to be use what you said you're going to use your nature. Are you going to still do that? It's up to you.
Yeah, my
Okay.
nature.
So get 4 dice. Nobody can help you out on this. So do you have any of your traits you want to use? A macabre interest, maybe, if you want to use that now. To be like, this
Actually,
is a very
I'm trying to think.
Sure.
Hmm.
If not, you're just getting 4 dice versus 2.
If I want to learn the skill.
Oh, okay.
So if I learn the skill, I can't use my nature, or can I use my nature?
If you use, well, depends. No, you can't because you already spent your persona. So in this case, what will happen is, if you want to learn the skill, it's going to be based on what the skill is. So the skill for Theologian is will. So you're going to get 4 dice for your will. Any other dice for like helping or otherwise. And then any modifier. So there's a -1 if nobody lights a torch. So we can light a torch now as an example, if you wanted to negate the -1. But you would only have 2 dice if you lit a torch. Otherwise, you would get 1.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my nature. I won't learn it.
Okay.
And I will ask Elena to light a torch.
Okay. So Elena's gonna light one of the blessed torches. That white flame lights up again, and you feel like your fear, your kind of like your shakiness kind of goes away. So like the light itself makes you feel braver, or that you have an opportunity to
More hope.
Yeah, more hope,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's one of the torches gone anyways. Yep.
So I squint my eyes as the light shines, and then as it shines on the object, it reveals the like coarse surface of it. And now do I roll
4d6.
4 dice?
Yep.
4d6. Okay.
Oh, 2 6s. Wow, you guys are getting lucky. So that's a
So
success.
what's that mean?
That's a success.
Oh, it's success. Nice.
So
yeah,
so in that case, let me just read it here. As you've been expecting this this item, you know that the statue itself doesn't have any sort of particular purpose. It looks like some sort of religious item. There's nothing cursed about it or anything like that. There's nothing like crazy about it, other than the fact it is for what one might say an elf.
Self-preservation is paramount, at any cost.
Might one who is... Oh, wait, hang on. I'm Eldritch Wise, but that would make me do another test. I don't just know stuff because I'm Eldritch Wise, right?
Oh, you know what? So Eldritch Wise might have come up. So if Kanagi failed her roll, you could do a of course or something else, and or actually you could have gave them a free dice. Now that I think about it, yeah, I guess I should have mentioned it was like an elder god of some sort. So yeah, you
Well,
would have been able to give a dice for that if you wished, because you're wise. You could have gave because you don't have any skills that are helpful, but because you have a wise, you can just give somebody an extra dice. It's not considered helping. It's considered just like your wisdom on the matter gives somebody else an extra dice to roll.
are Wises unlimited use?
All of these have unlimited uses. Sorry, as long as the wise is related to it and you spend their persona or fate. The only thing is that once you have all four things checked off, like you passed with the wise, you failed with the wise, you spend your fate and persona, you get the advancement. So you get a free advancement, and then you get to choose a new wise.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're unlimited. I'm
could
sorry.
I potentially have retroacted that I helped
Yes.
Minerva with my wise and then do the knock off the pass?
Yes, 100%. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
So I guess it would be a relevant question as we're trying to do stuff or investigate. Maybe I could ask, does this seem to be Eldritch related?
100%, because I'm not going to remember
That would be a good question for me to ask.
Yes. Does it relate to any of my wises? And just list off your wises, and then I will say yay or nay.
Okay, sweet.
That's very good. That's very good. Yep.
Okay.
So it is related to an Eldritch god, but the disfiguration makes it more of a decoration. The god, I'm gonna say that because of the obtu, the god itself can't be recognized, but it's definitely something of the occult. It is the statue itself is valued at 2D, so it does have 2D worth of resource value. It takes up either 2 hands or 2 carry slots, if you wish to carry it.
I see. I look at it with interest, and scoff at the idea of the occult. And as I look at it, I decide that it's worth looking into. It could lead to be combined with other things, maybe if I wanted to research. So I put it in my
your satchel.
Satchel, yeah.
Go ahead.
So this is 2 slots worth, isn't it?
Yep. So basically, you're just gonna write down the item in one of your slots and just put an arrow pointing towards it. So basically, put it in like your middle slot, and then just put in your satchel. And then,
so this is statue. There we go.
There we go. And just put like a couple of these up here, so you know like that's the other slot, right? Or you can put it then.
Yeah.
You can copy and paste it in 2 slots, but I don't want you to get confused that it's 2. Also, don't forget it's also worth 2D value. So if you go to sell it.
I should put that.
Yeah.
So that's 2DV.
Yeah, look at all the loot you guys are finding. You've barely even done anything yet. Amazing.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm just going to reiterate the room. So there is an empty pedestal that in which had something that looked like that was on it. It was the statue, obviously. And the only other thing is there is I did mention this. There is so it had a red substance on it. The hallway has rusty metal objects covered in dirt. That's the only thing left. And then other than that, the hallway continues. What do you do?
Okay. So okay, so we have the empty pedestal, and then we have the rusty objects covered in dirt. I look to Elena, and I because we're both dungeoneers, I look to her and say, "Is there anything worthwhile in there? Anything that you think we should inspect?" Yeah, almost making myself the leader of the group without anybody asking. and being like,
I
"What
assume
do you
there's all
think?"
sorts of stuff in there. Alina speaks up. I mean, look at all the stuff we got already, and we haven't encountered any dangers. I don't know what kind of wimps, or maybe they ran off. It doesn't seem like there's anything dangerous down here. They must have just came down here and then just seen things and didn't even loot the place and just ran off.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
I look to Vaco, and I say I kind of like stick my nose up in the air and say, "Do you have any input muscles?"
Oh, I also forgot, guys.
I
You guys are hopeful, so you should be adding +1 to all your rolls. Sorry.
Okay.
I think that whatever this pile of rusty things is suspicious, and someone who knows more about dungeons than me should investigate it.
I look to them and see their logic. Surprised because I kind of like earmarked them for muscles for brain sort
Oh.
of person. So I go, logical. I guess I can. So I crouch down and inspect the rusty weapons on the ground.
Alrighty. So is that what rusty weapons? Is metal pieces covered in dirt?
Oh, metal pieces covered in dirt then. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Yep. So to uncover this is going to be a Scout Ob 3.
Okay.
And then the grind after that.
I have Scout.
Oops.
Can I help her by suggesting like it could be a trap or it could be like broken? Maybe make some suggestions about what it might be.
100%. A skill can help a skill. So
Okay.
so you can always help with the same skill as long as it makes sense. Yep.
So I'm like,
Okay.
I think it might be a trap, but it also might be some broken weapons from a long ago skirmish.
And Elena's got Scout as
Mhm.
well, so Elena's going to be like, "Yeah, I'll take a look over here." So she like takes a look a little bit further down and sees there's more metal bits kind of over there as well. She's like, this is peculiar." So that's 2 helping
Okay.
dice.
So how many dice is that?
Oh my god, you don't have Scout.
No, I don't.
That's fine. So
Well, then that.
I have Dungeoneer.
Is it too late for me to? I thought Dungeoneer would work here, but if it's Scout, is it too late for me to do the check?
yeah, I did say Ob 3. I kind of skipped the gun. I should have said it's going to be a Scout who wants to do it kind of thing. So in this case, yes,
Okay.
if we want to swap it around and have Vico kind of be the one who's inspecting the stuff,
Yeah.
we can probably do that. So Dungeoneer is good for traveling through. If this were a trap, as an example, Dungeoneer could be used to disarm the trap. But Scout is usually to find things or to search for things that are peculiar. Unless you're searching for like if you're searching for supplies, then it's a scavenger, right? So it depends on what you're doing. So in this case here, if you're searching to see whether or not this is a trap, it's a Scout to uncover a trap of some
I
sort.
do have Scavenger there.
Yeah, if you're looking to pilfer things or try to look for like maybe I can use something as a spare torch or something like that, then the scavenger would be used for that. Yeah, or looking for food or something.
What do you think, Silver? Do we want to pilfer or do we want to scout?
Well, pilfer would be like if you're just pilfering for supplies. If you're investigating this particular spot, then it's a scout.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like the metal piece things.
So I'll do the Scout and I'll have Elena's help with it.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good. So Elena's going to help you do the Scout. So it is an Ob 3. Sorry, I jumped the gun on that one. I'll make sure not to do that next time. So that'll be your final test before the grind. So your hopeful is going to be negated by the -1. Oh, actually, no, the torch is lit. So you don't forget about your +1 to hopeful, okay? Because that's something that we haven't been indicating so far. So right now, that's
Does my instinct being looking over my shoulder give me any help here because I'm being suspicious of the trap.
Oh, I see what you mean. Look over your shoulder. You know what? Always look over my shoulder. Yeah,
This
that's
is
kind of like use extra caution kind of thing, right? Always be cautious with stuff.
Yeah, like not quite paranoid, but like everything's out to get me, and I'm concerned about my safety and the safety of my party.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll
It's
say
rusty metal, so it could be tetanus.
yeah, well, we'll say yes because I want to show you what instincts do. I will
Mhm.
say normally when something's written like I'll always look over my shoulder, it would be literally something you could do while looking over your shoulder, right? Taking it as a literal sense. So like if somebody was sneaking up behind you, and you're like taking a
Ah,
look to be like, hey, is there somebody following me or something like that? Then I would say the instinct. But because I want you to use the instinct to kind of see how it works, we're gonna say yes to this one, okay?
okay,
So the way instinct works is that instinct does not progress time. So now we won't hit a grind, even though we're meant to have a grind after this test, because of your instinct is
Oh.
something that you're naturally able to do in a quick matter. So,
okay.
so you're still going to get your scout, which is 2 plus your 1, so that's 3 dice.
Plus
Um,
another one for hopeful.
Another one for hopeful, that's 4 dice. Absolutely, thank you so much. I keep forgetting that.
Mhm.
And then any of your traits you want to add in. That might make sense.
Um, I will use defender because I am concerned with the safety of my party as we walk through the hallway, question mark.
Absolutely. Go ahead and check off defender because that sounds like you're defending your team. Defending your team.
Mhm.
And
So
that's got me
that's
at 5d4.
I think that's 6 dice or 5 dice. Is it? 1, 2,
So
3, 4,
2 for
5. Yep.
scout, 1 for Elena, 1 for hope, 1 for defender.
Yep. 5. So that's 5 dice versus 3.
Okay.
Throw 5 dice and 3 successes. Oh no, not
Oh, I
d4s.
rolled d4s,
Yeah,
sorry.
they're d6s. Don't worry. All good. This game only uses d6s except for a few times uses d20s. That is 2 successes.
That's our
And
first failure.
that's your first failure. Okay.
Oh
Uh,
no.
all right. So this is how it happens. So you're either going to get
Mhm.
one of two things: a twist, or you're going to get a condition, and then pass it. I'm going to give you a twist. It indeed is a trap, and as you're putting your hand through it to try to figure out what it actually is, the trap snaps on your hand. So that is going to be an da, 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 da. It's an Oh wow, okay. It's an ob 3 health test to avoid the trap. It's a bear trap. The teeth were sticking
um,
out from the ground.
so I start with my health,
Yep.
and then can I get really pissed that this trap just snapped on my hand
Yeah, just
and use
narrate it.
Savage Fury?
Yeah, just narrate how you're getting pissed and shit. That's all.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I am what I feel like is very cautiously and carefully trying to figure out if this is a trap.
Mhm.
But what actually happens is the second I touch it, it springs on me.
Mhm.
And I go from being totally calm and everything's super chill to it snaps on me, and suddenly I am straight up. It looks like I
In a
doubled my
rage.
size. I'm angry.
Mm.
It's what could potentially be described as a rage in another game. Um,
Sure. Yeah. I mean
and
that
suddenly,
that or your scarred could also work because it's like, oh, it's just another fucking stab wound to add to the collection. But you're right. We can do
yeah,
the anger works too.
I'm pissed.
Okay, your fucking pisses happen. Yeah, it tricked you. Oh,
And,
machinations.
and I look at Elena and I go, "Why didn't you warn me that that was gonna happen?"
Rugu. All right. So that is so that yep. So let's see. You got your health, which is
Mhm.
5 plus 1 for your Savage Fury. That is 6 dice versus health 3, ob 3,
+1 for being hopeful,
plus 1 for being hopeful.
or
Yep. You still
okay.
have that because you used your instinct, so you're good. Yep.
That'll do it.
All right.
Nice.
Nice. So you can go ahead and narrate how you nearly got your hand chomped by the fucking bear trap.
So it did chomp me, but maybe it, instead of like actually going through me, it just caught me. And I got so pissed that I grabbed it and I ripped it back open.
Oh,
And now my hand's free.
we got to go back a little bit here. So, I'm just doing some
Mhm.
advancements here. That's perfect. I think that's great explanation of what happened. So you used your nature before, right, Kanagi, for
Yeah.
the Illusion. So you passed that. So you're gonna check a pass on your nature. I'll do that
Okay.
for you. And because it's not boasting, demanding, or running, your nature should be 4-3. You automatically lose 1 if it's not one of the 3 things: boasting, demanding, and running. Even if you pass. If you fail, though, you lose for every failure, so it's a lot worse.
How do you determine if it's boasting, demanding, or running?
If it sounds like you're boasting, demanding, and running, and that's your primary thing you're doing.
Wait, I think I was kind of boasting, wasn't it? I was like, oh, you don't know.
That was
Mhm.
the lore master, right? Which I would have been
Yeah.
fine with, yeah.
Oh no, so I used my nature on. What did I use my nature on? I
Theologian
don't
for
remember.
inspecting the
Oh, right.
the thing, yeah. But yeah,
Hmm.
otherwise the boasting might have worked if you used nature for that. I might have been okay with it. Uh,
Okay.
as for Vico, Vico, you did a couple of things, right? So you did a scout roll, which you failed, so you might want to drop a failure on that. And then you just
Okay.
did a health roll that you passed, so we'll put a pass in that. And did you do anything else? Helping doesn't count,
Um,
but making rolls do.
did I roll anything else?
Oh
I
yeah,
used my order to
health.
help, but that was just
And
helping.
you used health again because you
Mm.
opened up the chest, right? So that's two pass on health.
Ooh.
Because
Oh
remember,
yeah.
yeah. So technically speaking, if you were to
Hmm.
get 1, 2, 3, if you were able to get 5 passes in health and 4 failures, your health will raise to 6.
Oh, okay, so the blue is what you need to raise.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep. Sorry for interrupting you there. I just wanted to make sure everybody got their advancement points.
No.
Yeah. By the way, that trap made a
Hmm.
lot of noise. I just want to let everybody be aware of that. It was like a
Okay.
chunk, big metal chunk thing. But it's very peculiar that there was like a trap laid out in the middle of the hallway.
I'd also like to
So
point out that Vaco was also incredibly loud. At least as loud as the trap was. Uh
as I'm looking over Vega, they're inspecting the rusty metal objects. So I'm looking with interest, all my senses honed on uncovering something. And as they in a rage jump up and shout really loudly, and the goes off, my ears hurt, and I'm like, and I look at them with the deepest disdain. And I look at them and I go, quiet, you. Who
Quiet.
knows what lurks here?
and my response is, just so you know, that was a trap.
I look at them and say, what do you take me for, you muscle for brain? Obviously, whatever remains of that once was trap has been mangled by your brutish hand.
It's not a trap anymore, but it was a trap, just to be clear.
That's really funny. So a couple things are happening now. So that was the grind because the health test and the bickering would have advanced time. So even though your instinct didn't, your health roll did. So in this case, now if everybody had to roll health for like an explosion or something, that only counts as one test. But a grind's going to happen. So everybody will take hungry and thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
So that includes Alana. She'll also get hungry and thirsty. If you're hopeful, and you're not, so if you're hopeful and also not bulimic, you lose hopeful.
Okay.
If you want to gain back hopeful in the future, you will have to go to town and leave town without incurring any debt. anytime you gain a condition, you increase your stress by 1.
Mhm.
So go ahead and put a tick into your stress level.
Stress.
So now we're on. Where did we start on our stress meter?
Oh, you started at empty. You're fine.
So now it's the first yellow box.
No, the
here.
first one right on the very end. You're all the ways to the beginning. You get 10 stress, so you can go all the ways back to your first stress box, which would be the blue one, I guess.
The blue one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we untick hopeful.
Only
You untick hopeful.
Yeah. And also Elena. Elena also unticks hopeful, yeah.
Okay. And we tick hungry and thirsty.
Yeah. So if you're hungry and thirsty, conflicts are at -1 disposition. So basically, if you get into a conflict, whether it's an argument or a fight or research conflicts or journey conflicts, whatever the big conflict is, you start off with 1 less disposition. In this game, disposition is your hit points when you get into these conflicts. So you as a whole will have -1 to the conflict because you're hungry and thirsty.
Okay.
Yep.
Hello, Mr. Fawn.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Lots of people coming by today.
I'm not dead, and I definitely didn't just get a bear trap around the hand. Everything's fine.
You didn't. Yeah. You're doing well. You're doing well.
Yeah, you are.
So yeah, other than that,
Is this like a an indication for like we should satiate our condition, like eat or something, or
so
is this like...
you always have the option to eat anytime you would get a hungry and thirsty condition. So you can avoid getting a condition by eating right away. So if you have an opportunity to eat, you can go ahead and eat, and it'll get rid of your hungry and thirsty condition. So if you want to drink your wine, Silver, you can. If Kanagi wants to eat, you can. If Alina wants to eat, you can eat a ration right now, and half your ration will get rid of hungry and thirsty. Or wine or water from your skin will do it too.
Okay, maybe I'll have a drink of the wine.
Okay, so that'll empty out your wine, and alleviate your hungry and thirsty condition.
Okay. So I kind of like, after being irritated by the loudness and the pure aggression that went on, so uncouth, I have to collect myself.
Yep.
And so I get my my satchel of wine, and I drink the wine, and it calms me down, and I'm ready again.
So you can
Vigo remains completely uncollected.
Awesome. So you can actually go ahead and erase the stress that you received from hungry and thirsty. You relieved your condition, therefore it relieves the stress.
Nice. Okay.
Yep. Cool. Great. We got a couple of heroes here. So happy about being in the dungeon. Nothing bad ever happened to them. We have basically an empty room. We've got you found out what those little bits are. So you have an empty pedestal that looks like there was once a statue there. A hallway that has a closed bear trap. And the hallway continues and bends off into another corridor. What do you do?
So
are there still footprints?
There are still footprints.
Ooh.
Somebody set this trap up.
Yes. So I turn to Silver, and I'm kind of like knowingly look at them and go, "You were once a city guard, weren't you? What can you make of these footprints? What information can you glean?"
Can you, Vic, describe to me what the Pathfinder skill is useful for?
Absolutely. So I'll just read it right out of the book here. That might give you an idea. I should probably give you the reference material as well. That might help out. Let's see. Let me just post this in our Discord group, just so that like if you wanted to have a quick reference to things, this might be helpful. But the book gives a better explanation. But the reference is good for like quickly looking over something, and it might give you an idea. But I'm gonna post it in here. I'll just call it reference. I don't know if it's in the pinned. It's probably already in the pinned thing.
It is
But
in the
anyways,
pittance, yeah.
oh, I'm a derp. Okay. Well, anyways, that's just a reference. But if you take a look here at the actual explanation of it, let's take a look here. Skill lists, and we're looking for what was it again?
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder. Okay. So Pathfinder. Pathfinders create routes through wilderness areas to ensure safe passage to various features. To various features. Yes. Okay. So it is for journeys in opening up pathways and finding pathways. So it's kind of like your ability to find your way through wilderness.
So if we
Usually,
were trying to get from the catacombs back to town
yeah, that would totally use
or
Pathfinder.
something.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
Not a literal path through a dungeon.
No, that would be dungeoneering though. Dungeoneering could find that kind of stuff. So because dungeoneering.
So with
what
that,
about their hunter?
Vaco. That's true. I've probably tracked things through
Animals
the
and
woods.
things before. Yeah.
So can I?
Tracking? Yep. So hunter.
Can I use hunter to learn anything from these footprints?
You could. It depends on what you're looking to learn, because if it's not something that is worth a test, so if it's something that's not worth a good amount of knowledge, I could probably just give it to you without a test. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to explain that you're going to narrate, okay, I bend down, I inspect these footprints and just wonder, is this fresh? Is this whatever? And if I go, it's fresh, it's this, then that probably means your hunter skills more than enough to try to figure out what this is without making a test. Only when it's challenging you will I get you to roll a test.
I think the things that I might be able to find out are, is this the right amount of footprints for the group from the church?
Okay.
And is this the right age for the group from the church? Does it match up with what the abbot told us about the group that came before us?
Like when they left, maybe.
So there's definitely more footprints here than from the group.
Ooh.
Yeah, and the age of it is, one of it looks like about a week old, and then the other ones look almost like they just happened. So basically, within the hour.
Okay.
Well, within the last couple hours, sorry.
So Minerva, that's what I know from this, is that we're definitely not alone in here. And I think it's rational to assume that whoever is following the church group has also placed the trap behind them.
Right. I concur. I look to Reiko and I nod. My hands, my fingers rest on my chin, and I look in deep in thought, and I think we'll have to be more cautious here. That trap, and the fact that these footprints are fresher than what we would imagine, suggests to me that we have competitors, whether they're friends or foe. I should rather gain that they are not quite so friendly, given the traps that they put down. So I look to where the paths lead off into the distance, and I say, let us ready ourselves, for we might bump into them.
And Vaco says, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready, with like no intonation at all, and like doesn't even seem excited about it. Just like, all right, well, I'm already ready, so let's just continue.
Heck yeah. Diving deeper into the catacombs, the path winds slightly as you begin going, so it kind of like corners off. The before you opens up another area. So on your left, it's a larger area, and I'll explain what that looks like now. So,
Mhm.
um, oh, did I not? Okay, yeah. So what you see is on your left there is a large opening in the stone of the catacombs. It has two caskets. Uh, they are both closed. It has a statue that looks like a statue of somebody of importance, perhaps somebody from the Latimer family. He is encased in armor and a sword, but other than that, no name is written on the statue. On the other side, on your left, is a staircase leading upwards into the darkness. Could go to another room. You're not really sure. Otherwise, your pathway still goes straight. The footsteps that you were tracking end here, but they look like to be in a scuffle. You also see traces of blood.
Okay. So, is the torch still lit?
Let's take a look. The torch is not lit,
Okay.
so you can
So we have
you
how
have
many torches left?
you have three blessed torches left,
Okay.
and four regular ones. But yeah.
So what do the regular ones do?
So the regular ones will set you up at one stage above. So at this point right now, you are in complete darkness. So you are just able to kind of pick out the things using whatever little bit of light might be shining from the cracks in the walls or above you maybe.
Okay.
And the but yeah, otherwise it's probably impossible to see much anything else. Uh,
Okay.
the torches will bring you up to stage 8, so you would get you'll get a -1 to all your things. Right now, you have -1 to all your skills,
Mm-hmm.
-1 to Death's Door, and heroes also get a -1 might, which would mean Elena's might will be at might 1, and your might would be at might. You guys might be at might 2. It really matters when you're going against somebody. If you're
Okay.
fighting monsters, they get an automatic success if their might's higher than yours.
Seeing what little glimpses in the darkness of blood and some indication of an altercation, I
Hmm.
turned to the others with caution, silently putting my hand up to tell them to stop advancing forward. And then I looked to them as if to nod, asking for their agreement if we should light the blessed torch. Mhm.
I think we might wait to light it. So mechanic wise, sorry, if we I don't know how combat's gonna work.
Hmm.
If we don't light the torch, would that potentially give a bad guy a surprise round that they wouldn't have gotten if we had a torch? Or if we go into combat, can we light a torch as combat starts? Or if combat starts without a torch, do we have to use our whole turn to light a torch?
So combat is two things in this game, um,
Mhm.
and it really depends on the importance of the combat. So combat can be resolved in a single dice roll, known as like a fighter test or scout test, depending upon what kind of fighting you're doing. Um, or it can be a full-on conflict, which yes, they could end up having an ambush. Um, and ambushes are a little bit different, where normally, it's fighter versus fighter when it's like a head-on test, like a normal test fight. In an ambush situation, it is usually people's fighter or nature, whatever they're using, versus either their health or their scout. So it's almost like you're seeing it coming before it gets you, or you're enduring the ambush and hopefully survive it.
Right. Okay.
So combat's a little bit different where combat rules only matter if the combat itself is one of your goals, your one of your atonements, or one of your instincts. If it's none of those three things, then we just settle it in a single roll, failure or otherwise.
And how did the torch affect that?
So a torch, if you had a torch lit, you won't get a -1 might or a -1 dice to a roll that may involve you to roll an ambush, if an ambush happens.
Okay. And what does might do again? Sorry, guys.
So if somebody has a higher might than you, for every
Uh-huh.
point of might that's higher than yours, they get an automatic success.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we have how much might do we have?
So right now you start off with 3 might, except for Elena because she's not a hero. She has 2 might. So with a -1, Elena will have 1 might, and you will each have 2. 3 is a standard for a hero. 2 is essentially people who are steeled against these type of things.
Okay, so mine should have 3 in it or 2 in it.
You will have 3, right? You will have 3 might, but because of the light, you will have -1 because right now your characters are shaken by the darkness.
Okay. So okay. What about, so we have 3 blessed torches and how many normal torches?
You have 4 normal torches and 3 blessed torches.
Do we at least want to try the normal torches?
I think I'm on the fence about it. So if you want to, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, light a torch.
Let's light a normal torch because this looks like a dangerous
Ilana will
location.
light a torch. Don't forget, Ilana uses a bow, so she's not going to be able to use it if she's holding a torch.
Oh.
I'll hold a torch.
You'll hold it? Okay, one of your hand slots will have the torch then.
I have my spears in one hand.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, just put the torch in the other one. You can use the torch as an improvised weapon as well, if need be.
Oh.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yep.
Get them stirred by the darkness.
So that will put you back up to stage 8, which means only -1 to rolls, but your might will not be unchanged. You have a little bit of light now. Uncovering, you will see there are moving shadows around the statue.
I become vigilant, and look toward the shadows, trying to discern their nature. I look to Vaco, like gesturing with my eyes for them to go forward.
Well, Vaco didn't need to become vigilant because she's always vigilant.
That's right.
So write that down. And she steps forward boldly and bravely and says, "Step out of the shadows. Who are you?"
Okay, I'm going to get you to do an orator roll. I mean, it's up to you. So it's going to be a test for an orator to convince any shadows to reveal themselves. Quick recap. Anybody in chat? Where are we? I had to step away. So we moved down the hallway. A bear trap sprung. And they found some footprints and some blood. And now they see that they're not alone. There are moving shadows. The torch revealed it. And now Vico is calling out the shadows to reveal themselves. And the ob is going to end up being, sorry, not ob, sorry. The test is going to be a orator to convince the shadows to reveal themselves. If you wish to do so, let me know.
What lurks in the shadows?
You know what? I do. I do. I'm going to go for it. I want to use. Well, I guess you tell me what the ob is, and then I'll figure out how many.
It's a versus. So let me go ahead and bring up the enemy. I should have probably put this on here. I don't know why I didn't, but 1 second. I'll just copy and paste real quick.
On the monster page.
You won't even know. You won't even know what I'm doing here. You're fine. Don't worry. It's okay. Look, it's gone. Boom. Didn't see anything. No, Nothing to see here. All right. So yes, so it's going to be, so they have a nature of 3 plus 1 dice because there's another one lurking there. So it is a versus roll. So is your orator, anybody else helping with this, and how they're helping, you can explain it.
Okay.
Or
What are the helper skills?
so the suggested helper skills is going to be, obviously you can always use orator for orator. The suggested helper skills is probably going to be persuader or manipulator, but let me just double check to make sure. Once again, my brain doesn't have this information memorized because it's so much. Let me see.
Manipulator, it says. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so manipulator. So if you want to trick them, so manipulator is basically your lying and deceiving, or white lies. So you can also use manipulator if you wish to kind of deceive people. So in this case, you can use manipulator to kind of like play good cop, bad cop situation, I guess.
I don't have manipulator.
Okay.
I have persuader, but
Well, we're persuading them to show themselves.
Yeah, Elena has manipulator though.
Yeah.
So
They
I'll
could
take.
help.
So Elena, somebody want to narrate what sort of things Elena may say to kind of help the oration to trick them to come out?
I think instead of saying anything, she's using her body language to just look really non-threatening.
Okay.
And like maybe even a little bit like scared, like, oh no, we'll just give them our stuff and run away.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah,
Like I
coerce
think
them
maybe
out,
she's
in a
just
way.
looking really, really non-intimidating.
Alrighty. So that is an extra dice for you.
Okay, so I've got 2 from Orator.
Yep.
1 for Hopeful.
Yep.
Can I use 1 for being an extrovert?
Yeah. That sounds great. You're trying to be all friendly and stuff and be like, or whatever, not friendly, but at least talky. So yeah, you're being like boisterous or whatever. Go ahead and grab it.
Minerva, can you articulate why being a persuader can help me and give me a 5th one?
I look to the shadows, and I said, I look, I straighten myself up, and I go, rather than skulking about in the shadows, this could be profitable for both of us. Why don't you come out there and reveal yourself?
Yep, I'm good with that. That's an extra
Ooh.
helping dice.
All right.
So that is 4 dice versus how many dice you got? Okay.
That got me to 5.
Got you to 5, and you've got, okay. So before I roll, I was going to roll first so you knew what your ob was, but it's okay. So right now.
Oh, I thought I didn't realize you were rolling. I thought I just had to pass 3.
Nope, it's a versus roll because they are people.
Oh.
So they're rolling as well. So in this case here, you're doing really well. So you got 4 successes. So I'm going to let you note something, okay? Note your 6s, okay? I'm going to roll as well. Just note your 6s, and I'll explain why in a second. Roll 4d6. All right, so I only got 2 successes. So in this case, you do succeed. If, let's say, you got to a point where you couldn't succeed or you failed, if for every 6 that you have, you can spend a fate point and make your 6s explode. So that literally means you can roll a dice for every time you roll a 6. So if you got 2 6s, you can roll 2 extra dice. If any of those become 6s, you get another success and you roll another d6, and you keep rolling until you run out of rolls in which you've scored a 6, and then you add all the successes up. So it's explosive d6s basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's how you're able to roll 2 dice and beat a knob 3. Because if you roll 2 dice and get a 6 and a 5 as an example, you can make the 6 explode with a fate point and then roll again, and you might get another success, right? So, but that's definitely usually difficult. So yeah, in that case, you passed again. We'll go ahead and mark your pass. You haven't failed a roll yet, guys. So go ahead.
Oh no, I failed Scout.
Oh yeah, you did fail Scout. That's right. Good job.
Yeah, I just recovered real smooth.
You did, yeah.
By screaming and breaking the trap open with my bare hands. Nice and calm.
Yeah.
So you will see 2 of these chummies. They're covered in muck, mud, and grossness and whatnot. Definitely look like the average what you would call cutthroat of sorts, right? Um, they're intimidated by that you were so bold to kind of like lash out and speak to them. Um, but neither of them look like they're injured. But there definitely was somebody who was injured. They come out with their daggers revealed, but they're not willing to attack. One of them speaks up. You going? You said you're going to split the loot of this place? Is that what I heard? One of them speaks up.
We'll see
Okay.
about that. We are looking for a group that came through here a week ago.
We could go a group, and one he looks at the other. So he's like kind of like a bit brutish and more brutish than the other one. The more skinnier one speaks up, and he goes, well, there wasn't any group that we found. But we did run into a couple of spiders, and in the brutish guy was like, shut up, shut up. Yeah, we didn't see anything. He says,
Did y'all set the trap up there at the entranceway?
well, you don't know what you could expect coming in here. This place was I was told by the abbot that this place could be dangerous, so we want to make sure we cover our tracks.
How long have you been here?
We got here a couple hours ago. Yeah. You hear groaning from one of the caskets.
Oh.
I look at Kanagi and see what's on her or Minerva's face, because when he mentioned the abbot told him something.
Yeah. Yeah, my eyes narrow as they say that. While they're talking, I'm pinching my nose because they smell. I'm looking at them in disdain. And as I look to Vaco's looking to me because they're suspicious, I listen to them the moaning from the casket, and I go to them and I say, "Funny, the abbot didn't mention anybody going ahead of us."
Yeah, well, we didn't
yeah.
stick around to see what he had to say. He said something about this place having loot and money, so we decided to come over here before any brave heroes, he uses that with quotes, showed up. And it looks like we did just in time. We're gonna be on our way.
I think you should stay.
They don't look very comfortable with that.
And I look at my compatriots, my companions, and I gesture for them to spread out. And I look at them and I say, I think you know a lot than you're letting on. I think either we can persuade you to loosen your lips, or maybe we can force you. And I say that colder.
I'd like to note that when Minerva gestured to kind of spread out, Vaco had absolutely already done that.
Prepared for combat. You hear a coughing from the casket furthest from you, and the people begin moving towards that casket, kind of in a cautious way, but circling around the statue. Like, we don't want no trouble here. Still wielding their.
Why
their
is that
guns.
casket coughing?
None of your business. Why don't you leave? Go on your way.
Minerva, should caskets cough?
I look at them with the utter disdain of being asked such a question, and I go, not in my experience. And then I look to the casket and I say, I hazard a guess. I'd hazard a guess that our little friends here might have bundled somebody in this casket. I'd be very curious to see. And I look at them pointedly.
They seem to be guarding the casket and biting their lip in anger, but they seem to be willing to fight back if need be.
Vaco's gonna casually stroll towards the coffin.
Okay.
Not aggressively,
Yep.
not like, ooh, I'm about to start a fight, but just casually, like they're walking up to the oranges at the supermarket to just peruse them.
Okay. They get tense. They don't initiate anything. It looks like though they might have been initiating when they were sneaking around the shadows. They might have been trying to set themselves up, but you were able to catch them in time. Maybe they were trying to figure out who you were before they jump in and find out. But they are definitely hyper tense right now. They don't seem to they do seem to be on the verge of maybe lashing back, but at what level of violence you're not sure. They do look like they're, as you get closer to light and such, they do seem like they're tuckered out a bit, like they've already been through something.
Okay. I look to them, taking note of their condition. I say to them, "It'd be in your best interest to comply with us. You look like gentlemen who are able to see the profit in a situation. Why don't you just lay bare what's in that casket over there, and maybe we won't have to resort to more grotesque approaches." And I glanced towards Vaco, as if emphasizing the muscle and the kind of like calm, like experienced aggression that they have.
So the skinny. Oh, go ahead. You go first.
I was just gonna say, if bubblegum existed in this world, Vaco would be like popping bubblegum right now, like blowing a bubble and popping it real loud.
You can always be like you're chewing on like something, like you can be like you always had like a little bit of like straw or grass or something, or whatever whatever you're chewing on, maybe a piece of wood or something, or you can or yeah, you could have like some sort of, well, I don't know if a gum, but you know what I mean.
Just the picture of, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Sort of casualness.
Got it.
Yeah.
The skinny one looks up at the brooder guy and says, "Garland, I don't think we should mess with these people. They don't look like the average folk. You know what I'm saying?" Garland glares his eyes and seems to be very angry, but also kind of feels like he's been outmatched.
The fuck on.
Because you hear like more coughing and stuff, and he seems to be concerned. So he turns around and just shoves the top of the casket off. And says, fine, go ahead and take it all. I don't give a shit, he said. Damn it, we've been robbed of our own stuff. He seems to be frustrated, but he just he walks away from the casket, revealing what's inside. If you step closer.
Okay. As Vaco steps closer, she's going to look at that guy and say, "Garland, huh?"
Yeah, he just like angrily spits to the side, and he says like, "Mind your own business."
And then Vaco looks really pointedly at Minerva to see if she picked up on that also.
I looked at them and note that the name of Garland being, I think, the same name as the abbot.
The same name as the abbot who asked for our help.
Yeah. So I look at him curiously, and I say, "Funny that your name's Garland. Any relation to Abbot Garland?"
You asked too many questions. Look, go take the loot and get out of here. I gotta go back and we've got places to be.
You got to go back to the Abbey?
He just crosses his arms, not being very unhappy with the situation. He's like, Garland, do they know? Do they know? He's like, shut up, Hart. Hurry up. Take whatever you need and get out of here.
What's in the casket that he opened up?
So inside there's a bag. It's a it is a don't know. Let me see. You have it written here. Okay, it is a large sack that is half filled with stuff. There is also a person inside, dressed in the same sort of attire as them. Looks to be seriously injured and bleeding out, and is kind of groaning and coughing in pain.
So who's this then?
That's Ippin. He got bit.
So, am I being thick, or what was the whole point of this? Because you sent us here, and now you're here already. Did you just want to feed us to the spiders? Were you trying to loot us? What was the whole point?
I will say this is not the same person.
Oh!
It's not. It is Garin and Garlin. I know I got two of the names very similar. I shouldn't have done that.
I thought I was being like really big brain time to keep up with the fact that this was the same person.
Yeah, no.
And I was like, I got him.
Very fair. No, maybe there's a relation to the Avi, but yeah, technically speaking, I did kind of, I guess, made their names too close. Garvin, Garlin.
Garvin.
Garvin,
okay.
Yeah, okay. I know.
I want to proceed with the misunderstanding.
Okay.
Because it's hilarious. And Vago is completely convinced that, like, this is the same person, and she's just proceeding with, so why did you bring us here then?
He looks overly confused and just like, I'm talking, the Abbey guy, he mentioned there was loot here. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know that it's a misunderstanding, but I'm all for it. And so I look at them in fake anger and go, "Aren't you the Abbey guy?" And then kind of like puffing up Vaco.
They look at each other, Hart and the other guy. He's like, "Yeah, I was the Abbey guy." He says in a obviously sarcastic tone, but also wondering if that's going to give him any leverage here. Yeah, I'm the Abbey guy. Yeah, you got me.
Yeah. And so I look at them and look in absolute disdain, knowing that they're absolutely not the Abbey guy. I think, have you been manipulating us? Have you? What is is this a trap? Well, no, this will be the very last trap that you set.
Oh, jeez. Hart's like, Garland, we need to get out of here. He's like, we're not leaving without Eppin. Just hurry up and take the loot. We need to get Eppin back to town. As you can see, he's not doing too well.
That's true. Mm-hmm. He's not doing too well. I'll just grab this bag of loot then.
And they give you the finger, and then salute.
So there's also like an injured person in the.
There's an injured person, yeah. So Hart explains. He goes, like, if you ask about it, I guess I don't know if you're asking about it or not. I guess you didn't. Mm-hmm. So never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, there's an injured person in there who's dressed in the same attire as them. He's obviously injured, and feeling like he's groaning and stuff. Maybe he doesn't seem like his mind isn't with him. So his pain has succumbed him. So he's just groaning and moaning and not paying attention to you as you're basically looting him.
Is he? What does he look like? What is his attire the same as these looters, or
yeah,
is he
they look like they're
obviously different?
They're geared in the same stuff.
Okay, so they're related in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
So I'm gonna look at that Garvin and say, give me all your torches but one, and take your friend to get some healing.
Well, what are we gonna do? We gotta get back. It's gonna be night. It's gonna be darkness outside. We're not gonna be able to go with one torch to make it back to town.
I lose my patience, and I go, well, you'll not be able to get back with 0 torches.
Interesting. Okay. Well, they're gonna take they're gonna actually probably. Garland's like, fuck this shit. Garland just starts running. Hart is kind of like stuck between. He's like, Garland, where you going? Hart's just looking at you guys like, boss?
Take.
I gesture to Elena with her bow, and I tell her to fire
Okay.
at the running.
All right. She just kind of like shrugs and is like, yeah, whatever. All right. So, in this case, it's going to be a fighter test. So, it's going to be a fighter versus his scout because he's running away from the fight. So let's take a look at what Elena has. So Elena does not have fighter, but she can beginner's luck it. So let's go. And we can take a look at what a bow does. Now I don't think a bow is really going to matter in this because usually we'll say bow is the right item, so that'll be a +1 dice. So let's see. So we've got health of 4. -1 from the darkness. Oh no, did we use a regular torch, right? So
yeah, we need
for
to regular torch.
So -1 for darkness equals 3. +1 helping dice, I guess, because you're kind of helping direct the target. So we'll give you a helping dice for that. So that puts it back up to 4. It's beginner's luck, so that's half. Well, sorry, plus the right item, that's 5. She has. Oh, she doesn't have any traits. She's got what? Yes, she has steady hands. She'll use her steady hands, so basically she's going to be like aiming, kind of like making sure she gets that right shot. So it'll bring it to 6 dice, divided by 2, which is 3. So it's her. If she's using beginner's luck, it's going to be a beginner's luck of 3 for her, and she'll start learning fighter. The disappointment is here, and we'll just do 1. Is that she's only got a might 2, so the other person gets an automatic success if they succeed. So,
right.
So we're just gonna do a straight up roll here. It's gonna be 3 dice, unless you have anything else to add for helping dice.
I don't think I have anything that will help in that way.
Okay.
Can I, as a fighter, help her?
Yeah, you just gotta explain and narrate how you're helping. It may not make a difference because this is 6 divided by 2. 7 divided by 2 is still 3.
I don't know how I could help someone fire a bow, honestly. Like, I could do that thing that guys do when they're, like, trying to teach you to play pool and they just, like, wrap themselves around you, like, real awkwardly.
I don't think
so. But I don't think that's actually gonna help. That might actually give her a nerf, if anything.
So you can also use traits against yourself to get checks. Checks are required in order to, well, we'll get the check sometime. I'm assuming checks. Okay. You need checks in order to do a camping phase, but you're not at any point to use camp right now, so you're fine. So okay. She's got 3 dice. So let's go ahead. Ilana fires. That's 3 successes. Wow. Okay. The dude, he's trying to he's trying to go around that corner before he gets shot in the head with an arrow. Let's find. He got 3 dice as well. But 1 success though. So let's find out what happens with that. So it's right. So it's +1 success only if he passes. So in this case, he only got 2 successes. So that means that Ilana succeeds. Narrate how Ilana basically shoots an arrow and fucking like kills a man with the arrow shot. You can narrate if you wish.
On my signal, I lift my 2 fingers up in the air and I throw them forward. The arrows, Elena knocks her bow she fires that arrow as he's rapidly, almost disappearing around the corner.
Yep.
And then we hear the thud of the arrow into the back of his skull. And he falls down to the ground.
And the crashing sound as he falls on top of the broken bear trap.
Yeah. And as that happens, his compatriot looks on him. I just scoff and was like, needless. So needless. Well, then. I look to him, and I look to Elena, who's already making her way to the loot from the corpse, the still warm corpse.
Wow.
I look to him and say, do you want to get out of here alive? Coming. And I just look at my nails, shining them, and then just look at him like we haven't just killed someone.
Yeah, Heart is 20-minute warning for me. Okay, no worries. Yep, we'll give to wrap it up. Heart is obviously having legs are shaking and such, and it's just like, yeah, sure, yeah. I want to get out of here alive. He says, seeing that you just killed his friend.
And so I look to him, and then I'm like, I'll let you keep the torches that are on you. Obviously, the torch and his belongings. Well, let's say they've happened to find their ways towards us. So you don't need to worry about that. But how did your friend get injured? What exactly injured him? You mentioned spiders. Elaborate.
Oh well, milady. We went up those stairs there. And well, there's we got surprised by a couple of giant spiders in that room. Epin ended up getting bit by one, and when we came down here, we heard the trap go off that we set. So we hid him in the casket, so we could see who might be coming, and that's when you arrived.
Okay. I note what they're saying, and I say, describe the spiders to me.
They're big, juicy spiders with legs and
Juicy.
bitey. Very juicy.
I look at them in disdain and scoff. I wouldn't expect a detailed description from you lot.
But we didn't find nobody else. I'll promise you. We just got here in spiders, and we got that. We got a couple of things there we got from those caskets at the very beginning. But you're welcome to have it, of course. Yeah, go ahead. Have it all. I'm helpful.
I look at them and smile, and I say, well, you do have to carry an injured person. I guess we could alleviate you of your burden. And indicating him to hand over his possessions.
Yeah, okay. Well, he certainly hands over. So what he has is he's got 2 daggers.
Okay.
Which, they're not worth anything if you try to sell them. They're damaged and dirty. But, if you need a dagger, that's different. He has, he'll hand over a stack of torches, so 4 torches, which you can put into whatever. He also will hand over his coin purse, so he has 1D in copper. So that takes up 2 slots, but it's only got 1 dice value.
Okay.
It's like a big bag of copper.
I throw the coin purse towards Elena, who has been picking through the corpses. The corpse. So, what did the corpse have on it? Or is that just collectively what they have?
Let me just take a look at Elena here. So Elena has let's see, she's got 2 slots in her belt, so that's gonna fill her up. So that is so 1D in copper coins, which is pretty low value for 2 slots. Carry 2, that fills her up there. It's so confusing, your players, yeah. And what was the other thing? Sorry, what was the other thing you said?
Uh, uh, so I was saying, is there anything of value on the
On the corpse?
yeah, on the corpse that
Oh,
they're picking through?
yeah. So they're gonna find 2 more daggers. That person didn't carry any torches because why would he? He was
Mm-hmm.
the leader of the group, right? Um,
Yeah.
Let's advance time a little bit too. As well as let's see, what else would he have? No, everything else would have been stuffed in there. So he comes up with 2 daggers and I guess the leather armor that he's wearing. If you wanted to peel that off him or not, it stinks though. It reeks.
I'm not in the least bit interested in the sweat encrusted armor.
Yeah. The sack, however, that you
Mm-hmm.
acquired from the casket where the injured guy was, does have some stuff in it. So the way that this game works is that a large sack, can carry up to 5 item or four items in it. No, 3 items. Is it? Wait, no, 1, 2, 3. No, 5 items. However, the sack itself takes up a slot, so you can wear the sack in your hand with both of your hands if you want to carry it, like huff it over your shoulder type of thing. But it takes
Mm-hmm.
up your hands in order to do so. Or you can take the contents out. So if you take the contents out, then you can put it in your own bags, or you can fold it up and put the sack in with the items. Unfortunately, sacks within sacks do take up space. You can't have an infinite amount of loot by putting sacks inside of sacks, because sack itself does take up a space. Yeah.
Right.
So
So that sack has those things in it. Was it the torches were in the sack or
nope, nope,
something?
nope, no. They actually got loot.
Okay.
They looted this place. Um,
Okay.
so let me tell you what's in it. Let me tell you something. And then we're going to clue up for today because we got to do end of
Yeah.
session. So we'll go through that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and the next time, I'm sure we're going to get into a lot more danger. Let's see. But you get an idea of how to play. So, so I've been very.
Yeah.
Let's see. What did we do here? That was room 3, right? Okay. Okay. All right. It's a loot roll. Oh, look at that. It is 2 loot rolls. So we're gonna do 2 loot rolls and see how that works.
Okay.
So the way loot rolls work, because it's random loot. That's fun.
Yeah.
Uh, it only can be one slot each because of the nature of the loot, and it's unplanned, so it means it could be something really interesting, or something really useful.
Oh.
So if I go to loot tables, where's that to? Is it down here? No.
Appendix B.
Appendix B. Smart. Yep. So I guess one of you could do each. One each. We'll do one each. So it's an unplanned loot table, so it's table 2. So I'm going to get somebody to roll 2d6 for me, please, and tell me your result. You add the dice together, so it's not like a test. You're going to roll and add the dice together.
You go
A
first.
2d6.
Yep, 2d6.
Okay.
So what's the total?
Uh,
9.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So 9. Whoopsies. So 9 means you're going to be getting unplanned. Yep. So technically it is planned. I'm sorry, because yeah. So it's valuables. So you're gonna get valuables. So go ahead and roll. Let's see. Valuables is 2d6 again,
Mm-hmm.
please.
A 2d6 again.
Yep.
Okay. 6.
All right. So you found cash. D6, please. Just 1d6.
A d6. Okay. So it's a.
Yep.
That.
What'd you get?
A 2.
All right. So you've got Oh my goodness. So yeah. So you end up getting more copper. So it's another 1d6 of copper that takes up 2 slots. So unfortunately, yeah, it's a 2-slotter. So it's another bag of copper in there.
8.
So that's one thing. And then you want to do the other roll?
Yeah.
So 2d6.
Another.
So that is, you rolled a 9 again. Oh, what'd you roll? 6. So that's gear. Go ahead and roll that up.
Ooh.
2d6. Sorry. You want to roll another 2d6, Silver?
Oh,
Yeah, it's okay.
sorry. I thought Kanagi was.
Nope.
6.
You got a 6? Okay. Okay. Well, it was food, so a fresh ration.
Oh.
Yeah. So not that much valuable. They just found some copper, and food.
That's fine.
They didn't find food, but it's probably where they stored their food.
Okay, so how are we placing this in our so I would say the what was it? It was the coin purse.
Yeah. So
And
2d.
so we got torches. We got a stack of 4 torches.
Mhm.
We got a coin purse with 1 DV copper. And we got another coin purse with, I guess, 1 DV.
Yeah, and both of those coin purses take up 2 slots because they're just piles of copper.
Can they be merged, or are they just?
Unfortunately, they cannot be merged. They're a pile of copper. Copper has got very little value, so you have to have a lot of it to have value.
Right. So can we, if Elena is able to put the bag and put the copper and the torches inside the bag.
Yep.
Would that work?
So what she can do is if she wears the if she carries the bag in her hand, she can carry five extra slots. So she can put the both of the copper coins into the sack, but then she can't use her hands unless she drops the bag.
Okay.
Well, that's fine because we can always have her pick up the bag afterwards, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a sack. So large sack. That's in her hands. So that's
I think that she'll be very happy to be carrying a bag of loot.
And then we're gonna have 2 of these copper coins here. So yeah. Well, she got more than her pockets full now. She got her hands full now. She won't let it slip through her fingers, right? It's a giant sack after all. So
literally.
Yeah. Carry 2, and then the other thing was you wanted to put the torches in there as well.
Yeah, the stack of torches.
Okay. All right, we're filling up that sack there. Large sack. So let's see. We got that's all of them, by the way. That's 5 slots there.
Okay.
So she
Nice.
has all of her hands filled, and she has 1 carried slot on her belt. That's all she has left, and her hands are filled.
So she's looking very heartedly and very happy. She's laughing to herself.
I've got so much copper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got
she can't carry the torch. That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So is this we're now wrapping up?
Yeah. So I know it was a bit rough of a start, and I know we've carried on for 4 hours, an hour or more. But I also kind of delayed the game by an hour by all the stuff I said. So we're gonna do end of session, which takes a couple of minutes here. Okay. So at the end of every session, we do this. It only takes a few minutes to do, but it is how you get your experience points. Okay. Well, we still got a little bit left yet. We're not done yet. We're getting there.
Okay.
I just closed off that. I'm an idiot, or something happened.
You
Oh no.
goober.
All right. So end of session. I'm just going to go at the very beginning because it tells me where end of session is. This is rewards or something. Let's see here. Where's the rewards? Rewards. Do I not know where it is? Oh, here we go. Rewards in Eartha. So Persona, Persona, Fate, in Glimmers of Hope are called Artha in this game.
Mhm.
They are only heroes can gain Artha. No one, the regular people cannot. So Elena is not going to gain any Artha, but heroes
Mhm.
can gain it, and that's how you like get the extra things to push you forward where other people wouldn't have it. At the conclusion of every session, take a moment to reflect upon your hero's actions and assess their achievements. This process will grant your hero rewards known as Artha. The types of Artha include Fate, Persona, and Glimmers of Hope. These provide powerful bonuses you call upon in critical moments or when facing unseemly impossible challenges. Additionally, they are essential for leveling up, so pay close attention. Earning Fate points. You can earn you can earn fate points 4 different ways, uh, with each player able to accumulate up to 4 fate points per session. The first thing is acting upon your atonement. So we're going to start with Kanagi. Kanagi, do you think
Mhm.
you have acted upon your atonement this session?
I think that my ambition to research, I think I did act on it. I ventured into the catacomb. I looked at the sign and recalled the knowledge from it, and I've got the statue in my back pocket or in my satchel
Yep.
for further research.
Yeah, I'm good with that. So, like, if you take an action that aligns with your character's atonement during the session, you earn a fate point. So go ahead and add an unspent fate point to your character sheet.
Uh, so I got two now.
Yeah, you have 2. Yep. Uh,
Mhm.
Silver, what about you? Did you think you acted upon your atonement?
No.
Okay. So, uh, so there's two.
Violence is always the answer, I think.
So, yeah, the bonus is that you can always change your atonement before any session. So if you want to change it later, you can. If you like your atonement as is, you can keep it. But just keep that in mind that if your atonement doesn't align with your actions, you just don't get any experience points for it.
Okay.
So in this case, there is an alternate though. So let's say if you played against your atonement. So this is a challenging one to qualify for, but if you act against your atonement in a dramatic way, making a choice that conflicts with your beliefs and effectively communicate your inner conflict through your character's performance, you earn a persona point. So if you ended up going against your belief or against your atonement in a dramatic fashion, like, no, violence is not always the answer, we have to work things out, then you
So
may
if
end
I'd have
up.
been really dramatic when Minerva said, "Okay, shoot him,"
Right. Like if you stepped in front of the bow or something crazy like that and been like, no, we're
or
not
was
killing
like,
this
"No,
person.
don't shoot."
Yeah, you could have got a persona for it. Now, it will erase your
Ah,
atonement for it because your atonement will change because the violence isn't always the answer because you proved that. But you do get a persona, which is a higher level of than fate, right?
interesting.
Yeah. So
Ooh.
so the other thing is working towards a goal. So if you make a progress towards achieving your goal, even if you don't complete it, you earn a fate point. This can only be achieved once per session. So let's go to Kanagi. Did you work towards your goal?
Um, yeah, I think delving into the catacomb was on the way to retrieving the relic.
Excellent. So go ahead and gain another fate point.
Okay.
If you were to accomplish a goal or complete your goal, you would successfully accomplish your goal during the session. You gain a persona point. So when you complete your goal, you're going to get a persona point instead, which is a better reward,
Ooh.
right? What about you, Silver Havoc? Did you work towards your goal for the session?
Yes. I'm on my way
Avenge.
to avenge the lost church members.
Heck yeah, I think so too. So go
Yeah.
ahead and give yourself a fate point, an unspent fate point. The next one is benefiting from an instinct. If your instinct grants you a role that positively impacts your party, you earn 1 fate point. So Kanagi, did you use your instinct during this session?
No, I don't think so. No, I didn't use
Uh,
any strange conductions.
and Silver Havoc, did you use yours?
I did while I was trapping.
Yep, you're looking over your shoulder to make sure that you don't get hit by a trap. That earns you a
Mhm.
fate point. Go ahead and write an unspent fate point. So the next thing is the dark secret guides you. If you utilize the darkest secret to unlock a new memory, Whether it's a strength or a weakness, you gain a fate point. I know we haven't gone over memories yet, but they are another option for you when you go to make a roll. You can trigger a memory of strength or a memory of weakness. A memory of weakness will automatically fail the roll, but you fail on your own terms. So you would gain a memory, a traumatic memory about your past that has some relation to your darkest secret, and it will allow you to lose, but you get to choose if it's a condition or a twist. So you get to choose how you lose. Can be useful.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you lose on your own terms. I gotta make sure this is all folded. So the other thing, we're gonna go on the other side. So playing against the belief atonement, that didn't really happen. Accomplishing a goal, nobody accomplished it. So the next thing is MVP. So the most valuable players. This reward goes to a player who made the most critical roll and allowed the party to tackle on a significant challenge. The group collectively decides who the MVP is.
Okay.
So who made the most crucial role in the game, and then you can just kind of explain it. It can be yourself. It doesn't, you don't have to vote for somebody else, but you know.
I think we all did kind of equally.
Yeah.
I know that Elena did the kill shot.
Yeah,
but they're the
Elena's not a hero,
NPC.
so she doesn't get anything.
Yeah.
Now the thing is that this usually comes
Mhm.
more into play with 3 players, because the next thing is team worker. So team worker
Mhm.
award goes to a player who put the most effort in, who kept everybody together and well functioning, which I think team worker kind of falls with Silver Havoc, because Silver Havoc was trying to like inspect the traps, nobody got hurt kind of thing, kind of like in that
Yeah.
sense. So the person who's the MVP can't also be the person with the team worker. So technically speaking, whoever the
Okay
MVP is,
then.
the other person is going to be the team worker, because there's only 2 players. But if there's 3 players, then it will be 1 and 1, right? Somebody would not get it. So in this case, each of you take a persona. It doesn't matter if you're MVP or team worker, but just keep in mind those exist. They're pretty much free persona every session.
I think
Okay.
the MVP was Minerva's decision to light a torch
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
before we
Okay.
bumbled into what was obviously someone trying to ambush us.
That's true. The torch,
even though that wasn't a roll or anything, I feel like that drastically changed how the game proceeded. So
I agree.
there's my reasoning for Minerva being MVP.
All right, that's perfect for me. So go ahead.
Because I wouldn't have lit a torch.
Nice. Yeah, well, you know what? That's legitimate to me. I'm cool with that. So go ahead, each of you get a persona point, unspent persona point for that.
Hell yeah.
So the next one is moment of crisis. If your hero is directly involved in a crisis, putting themselves at risk, you earn a persona point. I think you shooting and confronting the brigands definitely put a moment of crisis that could have went sour. So each of you get a persona point for a moment of crisis.
Okay.
And the last one is facing the past. If you make a test to confront a situation related to your darkest secret during a flashback, you earn a persona point. Nobody had a flashback, so there's nothing to reward there.
Mm-hmm.
So the other type of earth that you can get, it's called Glimmers of Hope. So the way you get Glimmers of Hope is Glimmers of Hope are rewarded during gameplay after heroes perform a heroic act that positively affects the desperate few. For more details, how to see rewards. So basically, if you do something that benefits the desperate few, the desperate few are basically the remaining civilization of the world, right? If you do something that does that, like installs hope or installs some kind of like positive effect to them, you get a Glimmer of Hope. If you don't do that, then you don't get it, right? Obviously. Yeah.
Well, as Silver did that rousing speech at the start that might have been quite hopeful for the people that were in the town around the abbot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna give a Glimmer of Hope for that one, just because it didn't.
We also stole from the people.
Yeah, literally, you've already gotten something out of it. Like the bonus was getting the extra torch, right? From
I
test.
see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I can't say you're stealing from them and giving these speech and give you 2 things for it. No thanks.
That is fair.
And that's
Okay.
it. So that's the session.